Righty ho. I believe that we are live. Can you hear me loudly and clearly? If you can, press one. Eddie Hearn is in the middle of the ring right now, absolutely fuming because Terry Harper, you can hear me because I can hear myself, because Terry Harper is allegedly on the end of a very, very bad decision there against the 41-year-old Cecilia Brackhouse. I watched the last couple of rounds of that fight. That has to be one of the worst so-called unified title fights I've ever seen. I don't know what you thought about that. Harper versus Brackhouse. That has to be one of the worst unified title fights I have ever seen. Absolutely diabolical from top to bottom. And like I said before, it appears that the judging may have been diabolical as well. We'll have to wait and see. I mean, we're at the event tonight. Whenever you're at an event and the music is much louder than the crowd, you know there's a big problem going on. You know what I mean? You know there's a massive problem going on. And you can see there tonight a less than enthusiastic crowd has turned up in Sheffield, to watch Lee Wood defend his WBA World Featherweight title against Josh Warrington. But I have the feeling, listening to the crowd there for that Terry Harper versus Cecilia Brackhouse fight, I'd imagine you'll find 90% of the crowd in the fucking queue to the fucking lavies, waiting to get a piss and a beer before the main event, because ain't nobody fucking watching that. That was absolutely fucking diabolical. Shout out to Marks and Spencer's for their lovely fish pie, courtesy of Gastropub. And then turning around tonight, and you're looking at fucking Ade and fucking Carl Froch and Tony Bellew at this card tonight. The three of them there, sitting there. I mean, it looks like a fucking Alcoholics Anonymous meeting, the three of them fuckers sitting there. Ade, Carl Froch and Tony Bellew. You know, you're just sitting there and you're watching the fucking body language of these presenters on the zone. And you're just sitting there thinking, now, what time is this game up, you know? Because we're going from game change to game up here. I mean, poor Ade. I feel so sorry for this guy. I mean, he looks like if he has to watch any more of this fucking shit boxing, he's about to throw himself off a ledge. To be honest with you. Do you know what I mean? Body language, sending distress signals through the TV screen, sitting there having to watch all the guff that's been served up there tonight. Jesus Christ. I mean, someone needs to keep an eye on him. You know, someone needs to keep an eye on him. And then obviously he's got to fucking spend copious amounts of time with Tony Bellew, which is enough to make anybody, to be honest, want to overdose on a large amount of paracetamol, to be honest with you. But as I digress, I mean, the whole thing is it's just got to the stage where what are we doing here? What are we doing with the zone? What are we doing with this card? And what are we doing with this main event? What are we doing? I don't know, man. It ain't looking like game change to me. Do you know what I mean? But we'll have to wait and see. Mark Stanton's here. He says, yes, Ultra. Looks like the main event are going to need wellies to walk through Eddie's tears. I mean, he was absolutely devastated at the thought of Terry Harper not being unified champion. Now, you guys will know, I think Terry Harper is very, very nice to look at in terms of physique, as Mrs. Ultra walks in with my cup of tea. Great timing that was, I think Terry Harper is very nice to look at in terms of physique. But in the boxing ring, Terry Harper ain't great to look at all. And then you're in the ring, against the fucking 41-year-old Cecilia Brackhouse. No disrespect, to all the 41-year-olds out there, but we're getting to the point now with Cecilia Brackhouse, where she's in orange bus pass territory. Press 1 if you agree with me on that, and 2 if you disagree with me on that. Cecilia fucking Brackhouse, she is in orange bus pass territory. This is the kind of shit now that they're serving up here on this channel. This is the kind of shit they're serving up. And she could barely get rid of her. And to be honest, it looked like Brackhouse was coming on strong towards the end of that fight. Again, had women's boxing about 3-minute rounds, that could have been a very, very interesting fight. 2-minute rounds, the fights are over before they're just getting started. But Herm absolutely fuming. He's saying the judging was, what do you call it? He called the judging incompetent. He's absolutely fuming. I mean, look, take a chill pill, you know? The bottom line of it is, and no disrespect to Terry Harper, nobody's coming out of their house to watch Terry Harper defend a unified fucking title at any weight. 140, 154, 130, 135. I don't care if she fights a silverback gorilla at 220 pounds. Nobody is coming out their front door to buy a ticket to watch Terry Harper defend her unified fucking world title. So there's no real need for Eddie to be upset, to be honest with you, because you're not on to a winner with that one anyway. It is what it is. Sky Hearn says, Addy tried to make out early in the week this was going to be the best atmosphere he's experienced. Atmosphere like an all-bar one. Press 7 if you agree with me. Press 8 if you disagree. That's the atmosphere on tonight's card. Atmosphere like an all-bar one. You can literally hear fucking unified world title fight, allegedly, between Terry Harper and Brackhouse. You can hear the guys at the fucking pub making their orders. You can hear the guys at the front of the queue. You can literally hear in the background, fuck it, I'll have a pint of Carling. Fuck it, I'll have a pint of Carling, mate. Would you like a packet of KP with that as well? Ain't nobody interested in these fucking fights. Ain't nobody interested in these fights. It's shocking. Hey, Tony's here. Big up, Tony. Terry lost that fight. I knew a robbery was coming. 97, 93. Look. If it gets both of them off my... Yeah. It's fucking... What time is it here? It's 20 past 10, yeah? It's 20 past 10 on a Saturday night. The only thing I want to be seeing on my TV screen, yeah, at this time of night is the following. World-class NBA, yeah? World-class NBA, world-class boxing, and world-class pornography. Those are the only 3 things I want to be seeing on my TV screen at 20 past fucking 10, yeah, in the middle of a Saturday night. This ain't it. Ross Hampton, until women's boxing is 3 minutes rounds, will always be considered a sideshow. It is what it is. Chris Welch, draw was the right decision in that Harper fight. If anyone won that fight, it was Brackhouse. I only caught the last couple of rounds, and Brackhouse was beginning to hurt her and get on top of her. Listen, I like Terry Harper. I like Steffi Bull, and I like Terry Harper. I like looking at Terry Harper on the weigh-in because I think she's got a tremendous physique. But look, you know, I think in terms of, you know, I think we're starting to, do you know what I mean? These so-called unification fights are starting to lose their mystique. Let's say this. LD Phoenix is back in the building. He says he hopes Woods knocks out that arrogant space raider. We are hopefully congregating to watch the end of Josh Warrington's career tonight. Actually, let me get a poll up. Who do you guys think? But hopefully it's the end of Warrington's career. You know, hopefully we don't have to see Josh Warrington anymore after this fight. Let me get a poll. Who wins Warrington? That's the only reason I'm tuning in tonight, to see the end of Josh Warrington's career, because I'm hoping that Lee Wood's going to stop this dude and put a stop to Josh Warrington. Thanks for the memories, Josh. You've had a great career, but enough now, innit? Enough, man. Enough. You know, the whole thing with Warrington, innit? The whole thing with Warrington, innit? And the fans, and some of the things his fans are saying at these weigh-ins and stuff. Do you know what I mean? I'm not comfortable with it, you know? I'm not comfortable with Josh Warrington's conduct inside the boxing ring. And I'm not happy about some of the things his fans say and do. Oh, here we go. Look, hold on. Bellew, Froch, and Addy. Let's see what they're saying on the TV screen. One second. One sec. Yeah. Crowd. The music in the background is still louder than the crowd. That's all I got to say about that. Predictions from the main event ultra. Lee Wood. Lee Wood's in a different class. Right, Richard, big up. Lee Wood's in a different league to Josh Warrington. So, you know, it is what it is. It is what it is. Chris Welch is going for Wood, comfortable, unanimous decision. Mark Stanton, everyone I know is expecting Warrington to be asleep tonight. Boxing classics. You guys are going to get me in trouble. I can't read that shit out. I'm a Mark man, you know. I can't read this shit out, but you know my opinions on that level of boxing. It is bad. Like, it is as simple as that. It is bad. You know, it is bad. And in my opinion, as Josh Warrington is coming to the ring, accompanied by Steve Wood, a long-time manager. So Warrington's now coming to the ring. And like I said before, we'll see what it is. I'm just hoping for a clean fight, because you know, in these Warrington fights, it gets disgusting. Headbutts, elbows, head clashes. Every Warrington fight, we say, look, we hope tonight's the night that the referee's going to sort of step in, yeah, and, you know, put a fucking stop to all this headbutting that's going on. And they just, like, referees just allow it. So we'll have to wait and see what's happening, but it ain't looking too good for Warrington. Warrington is on the way to the arena. Has he got one last world-class performance in him, or is this the end of Josh Warrington at the highest level? You know what? Josh Warrington, yeah? Honestly, when was the last world-class performance he put in? The last time we saw Josh Warrington put in a world-class performance was on BT Sport about 5 years ago. That fight against Carl Frampton was one of the best fights I've seen. Cracking fight. I think that won British Fight of the Year. That was the peak of Josh Warrington, yeah? Josh Warrington, Carl Frampton. That little round robin that Frank Warren had, yeah, at BT Sport, where you had Warrington, Frampton, and who was the other one? And they were all fighting each other. Who was it? It was Warrington, Frampton, and there was someone else. And they tried to get Scott Quigg. They wanted to get Scott Quigg, but Eddie wouldn't let Scott Quigg leave, innit? And then Scott Quigg ended up fighting in fucking Timbuktu on the zone and get his manos. That's it. They sent Scott Quigg down to Mexico to get his career ended instead of letting him go to BT Sport and doing the rematch with Frampton and getting involved. That's the 1-1-2 pivot. Selby. They had Frampton, Selby, Warrington. That was the peak of Warrington's career. But that peak is long gone there. Long gone. Boxing Classic says, if Warrington wins, we may get Lara Warrington 3. Please, Lord, no. We've only got 57 in the chat right now, which is acceptable because I haven't been around very often. And this is a fight that not too many people care about. But if you'd like to support the show, I'd appreciate it if you please hit the like button, because we could do with getting the likes up just a little bit. It is what it is. Let's have a look here. Univid keeps asking me if I've heard. Who are the Black Mitchell brothers? Who are they? I forgot who they are. That joke is so old. I've forgotten my own jokes. Who is the Black Mitchell brothers again? I forgot that joke. Who was that? Black Man says Warrington has shot Selby and shot Frampton. Well, no, come on. Frampton. I don't think Frampton was shot, but he wasn't. Frampton was never the same after he got beat by Leo Santa Cruz. Never the same. The peak of Carl Frampton's career was the first win against Santa Cruz. After that, his career was done. David Diamante is currently on the stage here. There you go. David Diamante. There you go. I'll tell you what, I would love to. That's the one. Yeah, Dillian and Dean Richard. Yeah, I forgot. We'll talk about Dillian and Dean in a bit. Because I want to talk about that. I've got some words to say about Dillian White. I'd like to do an episode on that as well. What's happened to Dillian? Where's Dillian? Where's Dillian and all Dillian's friends? Press 1 if you'd like an episode from me about that. I ain't forgotten about Dillian, you see. Where's Dillian now? Where's all Dillian's friends? Remember all those guys just, take Dillian. Dillian's my best friend. I speak to Dillian all the time. I consider Dillian my best friend. All of a sudden, Dillian ain't WBC mandatory no more. Ain't nobody want to call Dillian no more. Do you not find that funny? Nobody wants to call Dillian no more. It's like everybody's forgotten Dillian's phone number. No one's picking up his phone calls no more. What? Because he ain't WBC mandatory no more. 1-2 pivot says it's with the arbitration. Well, fucking hell. What? Are you saying all these voicemails are with Dillian White's arbitration? Because when Dillian White's calling people these days, the phone goes straight to voicemail. Strange that, isn't it? All these people who said they were his friend. The fighters are our friends. Who said that? Who's quoted as saying that? The fighters are our friends. Fucking hell. Dillian White ain't your friend no more, though, is he? Because Dillian White you ain't got no use for him now, have you? Because Dillian ain't the WBC mandatory no more. You can't use him to try and win a purse bid to get Tyson Fury on the zone. Dillian White's now of no use to you. So they just toss Dillian White on the fucking scrap heap. Dillian White on the scrap heap here, like a fucking wire-edged exhaust from a Ford Fiesta. Dillian White is on the scrap heap, mate. Someone used to ask Eddie a question about that. Can I just say, by the way, guys, before we Josh Warrington is currently coming to the ring. Can I say a big shout out to Charlie Parsons, please? Charlie Parsons, if you're listening, I'd like to say a big shout out to Charlie Parsons. You're a true legend, mate. You know why? Because do you remember the last time we spoke? Yeah. Remember the last time we spoke? We spoke about Conor Benn, and I asked the question: who'd been testing Conor Benn? Yeah. And they said there'd be some VADA testing for Conor Benn's fight that he had in Florida. And I asked the question to Charlie Parsons. I said, hold on a minute. So when he says he's been VADA tested over the last 4 weeks, I said, Charlie, can you ask and find out? Can you ask from Eddie? When he says Conor Benn's been VADA tested for weeks, what does he mean? Does he mean he's had one test in the last couple of weeks? Or has it been tested multiple times over X weeks? And what were the dates of those tests and what were the results? And Charlie Parsons said, and I have it, on Twitter in quotes, I will ask him tomorrow. Well, I looked at my phone the next day, and next minute, Charlie Parsons deleted the tweet. Shit, you not. Got it here. Charlie Parsons said, I'll ask him tomorrow. And I said, thanks, Charlie. And I clarified the questions for him. And I sent him a list of questions that were clarified. Next day, I look at my phone. I think, I wonder if Charlie Parsons done ask them questions to Eddie Hearn. Fucking deleted the tweet. Lee Wood is coming to the entrance, getting ready for his WBA. And listen, Josh Warrington comes to fight. There's no question. There's no easy night, with Warrington. There's no easy night, but it is what it is. Let's have a look. I've got a few comments that I must need to retract here. 1 second. Oh my god, this thing is so fucking stupid, honestly. There we go. I can remove that message. Some people are going to get me in trouble. Lee Wood is coming to the ring. Listen, it ain't an easy night against Josh Warrington, but it is what it is. So I did ask Charlie Parsons. He said he'd ask, but he didn't. So, well, not that I'm aware of. So it is what it is. Right, as you can see here, David Benavidez versus Demetrius Andrade will take place November the 25th, Mandalay Bay. I think that's going to be pay-per-view. Showtime are not out of the boxing business, but they'll only be doing pay-per-views from now on. So that's Showtime. Apparently, the PBC are going to try and do a deal with Amazon Prime, as you already know. Before we get on to the main event, both Josh Warrington and Lee Wood are both in the ring. So they're going to do the announcements, announce both fighters, and then we're going to get going, and we'll be doing live commentary of that. Let's read this. Eddie Hearn on Terry Harper versus Cecilia Brackhouse being scored a draw. That's an absolute joke. Terry Harper should be unified champion tonight. That's just incompetence. How can you possibly score that fight a draw? Outrageous, incompetent judging. Everybody saw it. And by everybody, who means everybody who was at the fucking front of the queue trying to get one more pint before the main event. Because ain't nobody was sitting there watching that shit. So I was watching it live and you can hear the fucking sound echoing off the empty seats in the background. Ain't no one fucking watching that. Everybody saw it. Yeah. Close family and friends. That's it. Let's have a look at the comments, see if anybody gives a shit about that. Oh, it looks like when I click on this, it is. It's loading up. It's taking time to load up. Oh, Daryl, I don't know what happened to Linda Sudofia, and I should know as well. If anybody knows the result between Linda Sudofia and Kieran Conway, can they speaketh now in the chat? Let's have a look. Pipe down. I'm just reading the comments on Terry Harper. Pipe down, Eddie. Wasn't that close? I have Brackhouse winning 97-93. Definitely a close fight, not a robbery. Same person who employs Campbell Hatton. There you go. Eddie's lost the plot. Eddie is embarrassing. Harper was lucky the fight was in her own backyard. Blah, blah, blah. So people there not agreeing. Linda Sudofia got stopped on a bust-up eye. That's a shame to see. That is a shame to see. Sorry for the dumb question, but how long till the fight, lads? The fight is literally about to happen, my brother. It is literally about to happen. Is that Michael Alexander? The referee, Michael Alexander, is in the ring. Warrington's in the ring. Wood's in the ring. They're both announcing them, and this fight is ready to happen. So we're doing live commentary in the next 60 seconds of that fight. Daryl says, was Udofia boxing well before we got stopped? Can we let us know? I thought Udofia came very close to beating Denzel Bentley for the British title. Very close. Eddie weeding out Billy Joe Saunders this week shows how desperate we've got the segment on that later on. Look at this. Look what the cat dragged in. The return of Billy Joe Saunders. Alexa, please show me the definition of finished. Alexa, please show me the definition of finished. And then a picture of Billy Joe Saunders comes up standing next to Eddie Hearn. Finished, Billy Joe Saunders. You are finished, mate. And if you aren't, I'll come on here and I'll apologize. But you look finished, mate. You know, was he coming back at light heavyweight? Oh my God. Please, Lord. Ain't nobody wants to see the return of Billy Joe Saunders. No one gives a shit. Daryl says Billy Joe Saunders and Simon Jordan was embarrassing. He was playing the meek and timid act. Listen, Billy Joe Saunders' career finished. What did he say, Daniel Dubois? Go out. You got to go out. What did he say? You got to go out on your shield. What did he say? You got to go out on your shield, brother. You can't quit here, mate. Get carried out in a box, brother. That's what Billy Joe Saunders had said to Daniel Dubois. Get carried out in a box, brother. Right before he wanted out of that Canelo Alvarez fight, and he let Mark Tibbs take all the blame. Man, listen, I'm done with Billy Joe Saunders. I'm serious. That guy for me is finished in the sport of boxing. But if he wants to come back at light heavyweight, He's going to come back at light heavyweight. Stick him in the ring with Beterbiev, and I'm interested. Stick him in the ring with Beterbiev, yeah? And I'll watch that. Saunders versus Beterbiev. I'll watch that. Richard says, Billy Joe Saunders on commentary says everything we need to know about how well it's going on the zone. Yeah. And the guy is not, again, Saunders is not a ticket seller. Saunders is not a ticket seller, you know. Billy Joe Saunders would have problems attracting fucking flies to a toilet full of shit. If we're just being honest, isn't it? Right, I think we're getting ready for the main event. We're getting ready for the first bell. Hold on. We are getting ready right for the first bell. Warrington versus Leywood. Final instructions from Michael Alexander. Daryl says, Billy Joe Saunders should never have left. Frank, let me tell you something. Frank don't want to work with Billy Joe Saunders no more. Frank, you know, that's the old days, man. But Frank having to put up Billy Joe Saunders in the fucking leisure centre down in Stevenage. Those days are over, man. Frank Warren's doing business with fucking Turkey Al Sheikh. He don't want none of Billy Joe Saunders. Can you imagine that? Frank Warren getting a phone call. Mate, are you interested in taking Billy Joe Saunders back? Frank put the phone down, mate. He's doing business in Saudi Arabia. What the fuck he needs Billy Joe Saunders for? Right. Bell was gone. Round 1. Wood versus Warrington. Here we go. It is what it is. I'm not, you know, super hyped about this fight, but it is what it is. And the heads are going in already. And Warrington straight away is absolutely making it uncomfortable for Lee Wood there. Warrington closing the distance, coming in with left and right hooks. He's a good start there for Warrington. Lee Wood started with his hands down. I think, you know, like I say, you've got to stay switched on nice and early, Lee Wood, because he got in trouble against Mauricio Lara from not staying switched on. Got to stay switched on. You can see the size difference straight away between these two fighters. You can see Lee Wood is by far the bigger guy. You can see, I mean, I could be wrong, but it looks like the height, the reach, and the size are all with Lee Wood in this fight. I haven't seen the tail of the tape, but you can see Lee Wood looks significantly bigger and taller, yeah, than Josh Warrington. Oh, but it was a good little lunging lead hook from Warrington. Warrington's made a very quick start. Like, Warrington's not fucking around. He's getting into the pocket. He's making it rough. He's making it tumble. But he's leading off with some good, strong lead hooks very early on, and he's winning this fight. But Lee Wood needs to get back behind his jab straight away. You can tell with Lee Wood. Lee Wood needs to get behind the jab. I don't know what he's doing. It's been a bad start to the fight from Lee Wood. He's struggled to it. You can see there, Lee Wood there for a right hand off the jab, and he fell well short. Warrington is leaping in, yeah, so far. He's actually having success, Warrington. He's leaping in, yeah, from the outside to the inside and leaping in behind jabs, and then he's hooking off the jab as well. And he's having success. Lee Wood's got to start establishing the jab. Oh, he both landed. Lee Wood led off with a right hand, which looked with a right hook, which looked like it landed, but Warrington landed the meteor shot on the inside, which was the left hook. Lee Wood's left eye is getting busted up. Do you know what? Warrington here, it looks like he's having real success, you know. Like, Lee Wood don't look comfortable in there at all right now. Warrington's made a fantastic start. And you know what? Despite the fact that Lee Wood looks like the bigger guy, Warrington's actually looks like the guy who's bullying him up on the inside. So we'll have to wait and see. Lee Wood there, missing the shot straight away. He's led off again with a right hand. 53 seconds to go in round 1. He's throwing a straight right. He's leading off with the straight right. You know, to me, like I said before, you know, 45 seconds to go. It's the first round of a fight. So what Lee Wood's got to concentrate on is getting into a rhythm. Start working that jab, start fading off the jab, and start working that jab upstairs and downstairs. And when you start finding the jab, then you bring the right hand in. But you see there on the inside there, Warrington having a lot of success here with the right and left hooks over the top on the inside. Like, Wood isn't protecting himself at all when he falls into the inside. And he looks really tentative. You know, I think Lee Wood's been hurt early on in this fight, you know, because that would explain why he's missing and why he snatched at them right hands. Press 1 if you agree with me, press 2 because he looks. Oh, that was a nice little right hand left hook there from Lee Wood. Nice little right hand left hook from Lee Wood. But again, why is he leading off with the right hand early on in the fight? That suits Warrington. What do you guys think about my commentary? Do you think I'm right or wrong? Good start from Warrington. I think Warrington actually might have hurt Lee Wood early on in that fight, you know, because he looked really tentative. He's snatching at that right hand, and he wasn't throwing that right hand with any conviction whatsoever. You know. Now, when Lee Wood is falling into the inside with Warrington, yeah, chin down, hands high, chin down, hands high. Get your head off the center line. At the minute, yeah, when he's falling down, he's falling into the middle of Warrington, hands down at his waist, and Warrington's coming over the top with left and right hooks. You know what Warrington's like on the inside. You know, anytime Warrington breaches the distance, he's going to let his hands go. So you got to be cute and clever when you fall down the middle. When you fall down the middle, head on the shoulder, put the head over the shoulder, fall down the middle, clinch, engage both hands. Yeah, tuck your chin in or put your head over the shoulder. There, and the commentary showing Warrington there. He lunged in behind the left hook and landed it. Beautiful shot from Warrington. This is Warrington's kind of fight. I still think Lee Wood's gonna win the fight by stoppage, but this is Warrington's kind of fight. Lee Wood, I didn't hear what Ben Davison said at the minute. I don't like the demeanor of Lee Wood right now. He looks fragile in there. Like Warrington's bullying him in there. And Lee Wood looks bigger, but you can see when they're on the inside. What do you guys think? Like Warrington looks like he's ragdolling Lee Wood around in there. Lee Wood looks weak. He just doesn't look it. He doesn't look right. And that right hand he's throwing there's nothing on it. I'm not making excuses, by the way. If Warrington wins, Warrington wins. It's a good fight from Warrington, but I'm just saying, look Lee Wood again. Yeah, Lee Wood there, leading off with the right hand. Why are you leading off with the right hand, mate? What do you guys think about that? Do you guys think I'm right or wrong about that? I remember reading a comment. Den says needs to slow down. Josh can't keep this up. Guys, are you seeing a jab from Lee Wood? Establish the jab first, then let the right hand come off the jab. And he's lunging in and he's throwing a lot of right hand lead is a very, very hard shot to land in boxing. Do you guys know that? How hard it is to land a right hand lead. A right hand lead is very hard to land in round one against an energetic Josh Warrington. You got to break him up first. Then you start looking to land them shots. Woods cutting off the ring and pushing Warrington into a corner. And I don't know why he keeps throwing. Lee Wood's throwing lead right hands. No jab from Lee Wood right now. Cutting off the ring against Josh Warrington, and he's throwing lead right hands, right hooks. Not throwing the jab at the minute from Lee Wood. Oh, that was a lovely shot from Lee Wood. Straight right hand, left hook landed flush at the top of the head. Warrington definitely would have felt that. That was nice from Lee Wood. What do you guys think is the tactics? I'd love to ask Ben Davison about this. Just like if this is a tactic to not throw the jab, what are they worried about? Are they worried about the left hook off the Lee Wood jab? Is that what they're worried about? Is that why Lee Wood's not overly extending the jab hand? Do you think that's what they're worried about? Are they worried that Warrington might be looking to come off the left hook and then they're worried about it? So Lee Wood wants to keep that jab hand close to his own face. Doesn't want to give Wood an opportunity. Wood is starting to get into this fight. Oh, that was a cheeky little short right hand there from Wood there as Warrington stepped in. He touched him with the jab hand, and as Warrington stepped in, he timed him with that little right hand over the top. Now, you can see what Wood's looking for. Right hand, left hook for some reason. So, listen, Ben Davison, whether you guys like him or don't like him, is very, very meticulous when it comes to film study. So, that's the game plan in a minute from Lee Wood. They're not jabbing. They're not jabbing. They're just touching to get distance and to keep Warrington at a distance. And then it's the lead right hand, right, and the left hook. And he has had a big success. And it's every time Lee Wood. It's almost like he's broken his left hand or something. What do you guys think? It's almost like he's broken his left hand. It's just no jab at all. I just find it odd that a guy with that size, that height, and that reach wouldn't use the jab. Guys, I want to know what you think about the Lee Wood jab. What do you guys think? Let me know. I'm interested to know. I just find it bizarre that we're in round 2 and he's just not using that jab. Upstairs, downstairs, upstairs, downstairs. He's leading off with the right hand. It's a very, very hard technique. Lee Wood is one of the best boxers in this country, though. He's a phenomenal boxer, Lee Wood. Listen, I don't give a shit about Matcham, Queensbury and all that shit. Lee Wood on any promotion. Lee Wood on any promotion is one of the best fighters in this country. But he doesn't look good to me. Like, I'll be interested to hear if he had problems in camp or if Lee Wood's had problems making the weight or something's happened. Because Lee Wood, to me, tonight, he doesn't look sharp. He looks very lethargic in there. To me, that's me. But it's been a good first round from Warrington, but that second round was Lee Wood. It did look like Lee Wood was beginning to pick up the timing, and it did look like Warrington's fast start has come to an end. I want to hear from Ben Davison in the corner. Mark Stanton saying he switched to southpaw. Well, there you go. Yeah, I should have fucking known that. I'm an idiot. And I am a southpaw. You know what? For someone who's actually left-handed, I'm fucking terrible at picking up changes like that. Because for me, it's all gobbledygook because I'm actually left-handed. You're actually right. There you go. It shows what a numpty I am. Lee Wood's leading with the left hand and he's turned southpaw. There was a clash of heads there. Lee Wood's been hurt. I don't know if it was by a hook or it was by a clash of heads. The heads came in together. Warrington landed a shot. The heads came in. Wood was hurt. Wood's against the ropes. He's rolling. He's shoulder rolling, but he's hurt. He's shoulder rolling very well. Some of those shots are catching the top of the head. He's not steady, though. He is not steady there. Let's see what Warrington does there. There's something not right with Lee Wood in this fight. Definitely. Callum says Wood's in trouble. I would absolutely agree with that. He was hit by a shot. I don't know if it was the shot or it was the fact that because Warrington's head definitely connected with Wood's chin after a shot. But Wood's feeling it. Wood looks lethargic. So thanks for telling me. I'm so embarrassed about that southpaw. I'm a left-handed, I should know. But even so, even though Wood's turning southpaw, right, in this fight, again, the principles are the same. You don't need to lead off with the left hand. It's stupid. You don't need to lead off with the left hand. Where's the jab? Southpaw orthodox. It's the same tactics. Touch him up with the jab. And he keeps leading off with the lead hand. And the thing about Wood there is, Wood led off with that left hand and he fell in and felt, oh, that was brutal. Oh my God, Warrington with a double right hook up on the inside, body and head, flush at the top of the head. Lee Wood's got no protection. He's trying to shoulder roll everything off. He needs to pick his hands up. When they're up close and Warrington's bullying him against the ropes, Lee Wood thinks he can shoulder roll that right hook. He can't. Oh, what a right hook from Warrington time. Wood coming straight in. Wood tried to step in on the jab and Warrington timed inside there with a right hook. When they're on the inside, yeah, why is Lee Wood shoulder rolling at the minute? For me, he doesn't look right to me, Lee Wood. I'm just going to tell you right now. He doesn't look right at all. Those shots there from Wood had a bit more venom on them. Those shots on there had a bit more venom on them, a bit more bite on them. But again, when Warrington's backing him up, and again, what you need to watch is when Warrington backs Wood up into the ropes, Lee Wood's hands are dropping and he's trying to shoulder roll the shots and it ain't working. Now he's just turned back to orthodox again. Oh, excuse me. Now he's just turned back to southpaw again. Sorry. He is switching mid-fight. So I'm just watching what's happening here. This is a big, big third round from Josh Warrington. So let me break down what I'm seeing here. First and foremost, yeah, when they're fighting close quarters, when they're fighting up on the inside, yeah, for me, Lee Wood is not best. A good body shot. There's a good right uppercut on the inside, yeah, to the body from Josh Warrington. I think he's hurt him to the body. Jeez, eating Wood alive at the minute. But you know what bothers me the most about Wood is up on the inside from Wood. Wood has no deterrent up on the inside. He's shoulder rolling, but it's not effective against Warrington. Warrington is looping that right hook around the shoulder, over the shoulder, and he's getting a free shot every single time on the inside. It's bad. It's really bad from Lee Wood. You know, if that shoulder roll's not working for me, just bring both hands up, go into a conventional high guard, tuck your chin in and bring both your hands up. Press 7 if you agree with me on that. Press 8 if you disagree with me. For me, you know, Wood doesn't need to make this a complicated fight. It's getting too complicated for me in there. You know, you're up on the air. It was a shoulder that landed right on Wood's chin. But Wood is making this fight so much more complicated than it needs to be, in my opinion. You know, we need to go back to basics. The shoulder roll isn't working on the inside. You can see Warrington there on the DAZN replay landing with a flush right hook right on the side of the temple. And if you look at Lee Wood's hand position, his hand position is by his chest. You know, like I said before, listen, we need to go back to basics here. You're getting ragdolled up on the inside now. Whenever there's action on the inside, chin down, both hands up, put the earmuffs on. Simple as that. Beginning of round 4. It needs to start with the jab for Lee Wood now. Would you guys agree with me on that? It needs to start with the jab as Lee Wood's gone back to orthodox to start this round. It's got to start with the jab for Lee Wood. It's got to. You know, I don't know what he's been doing in these first couple of rounds, trying to lead off with the lead right and lead left hand. Don't try and do that. Don't try and lead off with the backhand. Use that jab, feint the jab, and control the fight with the jab. You're supposed to be, yeah, a bigger man in there. Warrington there lunged in with a left hook and Lee Wood made him miss. Lee Wood, is he going to start feinting? Lee Wood's still looking for the right hand to the body. Warrington tried to counter him with the left hand upstairs and he missed it. Still not much of a jab from Lee Wood in this fight. I'm still hoping and praying that he's gonna find something. He seems to be looking for one big shot. Warrington threw the left hook. Wood had it covered. So right hook from Warrington and Wood had it covered. And again there, look, the shoulders are clashing with Wood's chin. Got to be careful. The problem, like I said, with Wood hunting Warrington down, but leading off the backhand, is he's falling over his own backhand, and he's falling into Warrington's shots, Lee Wood. If you watch Lee Wood when he throws that lead left hand, yeah? If you watch Lee Wood when he throws that lead left hand, if you look at, oh, left hook from Warrington. And it looked like Wood's legs went for a minute there. Maybe it was a clash of feet because he is southpaw at the minute. Maybe it was just a clash of feet. Again, Wood a little bit better there. So Warrington got up close to Wood and he landed an uppercut. But when Warrington went for the right hook, Wood kept his left hand high. So that was a slight improvement up on the inside from Lee Wood there. A slight improvement. Slight improvement from Lee Wood up on the inside. Slight improvement. But Warrington snaps his head back with a jab. Sorry about this commentary. I know the commentary is dreadful. 147 people watching this live. If you'd like to please hit the like button of support, please hit the like button of support. Right, let's get back to this fight. So the bottom line of it is, this should be a pretty simple tactic here for Wood, yeah? You know Warrington's lunging in. Warrington is literally jumping in. Oh, it's a lovely right hand from Warrington. Lands right flush on Lee Wood. Lee Wood takes it and carries on. But what are we looking for from Lee Wood in this fight, basically, yeah? What are we looking for from Lee Wood? You know Warrington's going to lunge in. He's literally leaping off his feet and lunging in behind the jab and lunging in behind the left hook. So we need fast feet, don't we? We need to execute our feet, fast feet. We want him to lunge in. We want to feint him and we want him to lunge in. And we want to bait him into lunging. Then we take a step back and then we want to throw a shot. But this is just looking so ugly. Lee Wood's got a terrible back cut on the right eye. The heads are going in, but it's on the inside is where the problems are happening for me. What do you guys think? Anytime Warrington gets on the inside, Wood has no protection. And Warrington is just looping left and right hooks over the guard because Wood's got his hand positioned by his chest and doesn't pick up his gloves. But again, I agree with you, Callum. I think for me, Lee Wood, back to basics. I mean, I think this fight's nearly gone from Wood anyway, to be honest with you. And I'm not making excuses. Warrington's been a better man in this fight. But I honestly don't think that Lee Wood's right in this fight. Because he just, this doesn't look like the Lee Wood who got him with fucking, you know, with Lara and whatnot. And it doesn't look like the Lee Wood to me at all. You know, his feet look flat. And like I said before, should be touch with the jab. And you know Warrington, when Warrington steams in, you know Warrington's going to lunge in. Anytime there's distance, you know Warrington's going to throw himself into a range, adjust the feet and throw counter. He got good timing. But like I said before, it's just bizarre what I'm seeing at the moment from Lee Wood. I'm just not seeing no jab. And when he's leading off with that backhand, it ain't good because he falls over. He throws that backhand. His head comes over his front foot. He falls into range, and that's right into Warrington. It's right into Warrington's territory. Right. I've got it. This is round 5. I've got it 3-1. But I've got Warrington. It's a big 3-1. It's a really, really big 3-1. A big 3-1. Carl Froch has got it the same as... No. Carl Froch has got Warrington up by 1 point. He's got the first round the draw. So Froch is talking out of his batty. This is a Warrington fight. Let's have a look here. Wood got battered by Lara. He only beat Lara because Lara crashed the weight, I think he means. Wood is not working as usual. Wood has woken up a bit. Bench thinks Warrington looks good. 145 in the chat. 2 minutes 15 to go in round. That was good footwork from Lee Wood there. He landed a nice short right hand and then he took 2 steps back and he avoided Warrington. The feet look good there from Lee Wood there. So another little short right hand and then he knew Warrington was going to counter him with the left hook and he took a nice 2 steps back there. Wood looks a bit more springy on his feet at the minute to me. For some reason. There you go. Wood looks a bit more springy on his feet there. Let's see what's happening here. All of a sudden, it looks like Lee Wood's feet have just woken up. Let's have a look. LD Phoenix, we are 1 minute 38 to go in round 5. Lee Wood's feet look to have woken up a bit. To me, he looks a bit more bouncy on his feet. He looks a bit more on his tiptoes now. And he's beginning to just make Warrington fall short just a little bit. Let's have a look here. Good triple jab from Josh Warrington there. Josh Warrington landed a good double jab that landed Lee Wood's head back. Let's have a look there. You know, like I said before, Wood to me, when you look at Wood's shape, right? And if you look at Wood's shape, Wood looks to me like a guy who's boxed 15. He's just boxed 15 rounds. Like, he's boxing, but he's losing his shape. So what I mean by that is every time Wood is throwing a jab right hand, the hands are falling to the waist. The hands aren't coming back and they're not snappy shots. Wood looks like a guy to me. I think in a post-fight interview, we're going to hear some stories from Lee Wood about this. But that's just my opinion. Because he don't look sharp at all. His hands are by his waist. He's walking around with his hands by his waist. And you can see after his punching, the punches don't look sharp. Darryl, what do you think about that from Lee Wood? Daryl, do you think the punches look sharp to me? It looks like he's losing his shape there. Every time he's throwing that jab right hand, it's not sharp. There you go. Through Lee Wood there. And you see Lee Wood threw a straight left hand. He fell short and Warrington's shoulder fell right into his chin. They're now up on the inside and Warrington is landing left hooks and Warrington's nearly knocked him down with a left hook. And he's landing that left hook at will because of Lee Wood's hand position on the inside. Because Lee Wood refuses to put his hands up in a high guard and go into a conventional high guard. He refuses to do it. Lee Wood's insisting on trying to roll the shots with the shoulder. And I would be screaming at him in the corner not to do that. And because of his hand position up close, he's getting nailed by the same shots over and over again. And that was a good start to the round. That was actually a really good start to the round. AP says all them perms have taken it out of Lee Wood. I'm just going to be honest with him. Be honest with you. He doesn't look right to me. Daryl says Lee Wood's shape is all over the place. I think he's absolutely crashing away. He looks done. I don't want to say it because I know people are going to say, "Oh, just make it." I don't, honestly, I don't care. But I'm just telling you right now. I'm just being honest with you. That's the sign of a boxer who, well, you'll hear after the fight anyway. You can see it from a mile away. Lee Wood, he's toast, and he's fighting on instinct. This at the minute is trending towards a Josh Warrington stoppage, big time now. And it's getting to the point where Lee Wood's got a cut right eye and he's getting busted up in a minute. How much more of this? Okay, he's got to defend his. And again, Lee Wood has shown in the past that he can pull a shot out of nowhere, but it isn't looking good. Dave says, I agree, that perm is not a good look. Right, 2 minutes 54 in round 6. I've got Josh Warrington 5 rounds to 1 up. Lee Wood's probably going to need a stoppage to win this fight. We'll have to wait and see. If anybody's seen Lee Wood's jab, please let me know. Because there's been no jab from Lee Wood. No jab, no deterrent from Lee Wood at all. Decent little left hook there from Lee Wood. Decent little left hook through it there. Not sure that got through the guard. But Warrington felt that and backed up a bit. Lee Wood trying to push Josh Warrington back towards the ropes and trying to cut off the ring. Good double jab from Lee Wood. First time I've seen him actually use a jab. But again, Warrington lunges in with the left hook and the right hand. Now, better hand, but that right hook. Lee Wood is eating right hooks for breakfast at the minute. Continues to carry his left hand low. Press 1 if you can see that. Press 1 if you can see that. Lee Wood continues to carry that left hand by his waist. And again, listen, it gives you an advantage on the offense because it's harder for the fighter to pick up where the jab is coming from. So I can understand why he does that, yeah? But listen, when the fight gets close, you've got to pick that shot. That was a good right uppercut from Lee Wood. Good right uppercut from Lee Wood. Oh, another right hook. Josh Warrington can't miss him with these right hooks. Listen, Lee, if you're at range, drop your left hand. But listen, mate, when it starts getting close quarters, you've got to start picking that left hand up because he's getting right hook after right hook here. Right hook after right hook. 1 minute 23 to go in round 6. It's a better round from Wood, but those right hooks just will not stop landing over the low left hand of Lee Wood. Anytime Lee Wood's up close, he will not pick up his left hand. And Warrington is just landing right hook after right hook after right hook. Completely. Lee Wood's got no defense down his left-hand side. Lee Wood, there's another counter right hook from Josh Warrington. Lee Wood there telegraphed his own left hand. Warrington Lee Wood telegraphed his right hand. Warrington threw his own right hand and nailed Lee Wood down the side of the temple. Proper bad stuff from Wood. And it's all these shots are all coming down Lee Wood's left-hand side. He's got no defense or when he turns southpaw his right-hand side. Do you know what I mean? It's the lead hand. He's getting pinged over that low lead hand, whether he's orthodox or southpaw. He's getting pinged over that low lead hand. Listen, if you're going to carry a low lead hand in boxing, it's cool, but you've got to be clever with it. You've got to feint. You've got to feint it because you've got to throw off the guy's timing. At the minute, Lee Wood's been timed left, right, and centre, yeah, down that side, particularly by the overhand right hook of Josh Warrington. So if you're going to carry, your lead hand low, then you've got to feint. You've got to feint with the lead hand. You've got to be clever with the lead hand. You've got to throw off the man's timing. Does that make sense what I'm saying? Press 1 if what I just said made sense. Press 1 if what I just said made sense. If you're going to carry that left hand low, right? If you're going to carry that left hand low against someone's right hand, you can do it, but you've got to be clever. You've got to feint with the left hand, and you've got to bring variation to throw the opponent off. Because if you don't bring variation, then the opponent's going to time you down that side all the time. And this is what's happening to Lee Wood. It's getting timed. down that side, because he's always carrying that lead hand low. And then when they get to the inside and Warrington breaches and gets to the inside, he still continues to carry it low. He doesn't even bring up when they're on the inside. But to me, Wood looks like a fighter who was cooked before he got in the ring. That's me. Is Bellew talking about the weight cut for Wood? Let's have a look. I can't listen, but someone in the chat saying Bellew is talking about Wood looks toast. You can see Wood looks like he's on fumes. We can see Wood looks like he's on fumes. We can see that. Doesn't take a fucking genius to work that one out. Let's see what's there. Barry Jones is saying it took a while to get going in that round, but he's troubling Lee Wood yet again. We're into round 7. 2 minutes 50 to go in round 7. That's a lovely sharp jab there from Warrington, which snatched the head back of Wood. And again, Warrington breached the distance and Wood kept that left hand low. And for some reason, Josh Warrington decided to spare him and not follow up the jab with the right hand. Jesus Christ. Unbelievable. Chris is saying Bellew said this is a sign of a bad weight cut. I agree with Tony Bellew. To me, it looks like Wood. Do you know who Wood looks like tonight? Wood looks like Josh Taylor when he stepped in the ring against Teofimo Lopez to me. He looks just the same, similar kind of size to when Josh Taylor got in the ring with Teofimo Lopez. He's cooked. He's absolutely cooked. He's on fumes in there, Lee Wood. Lee Wood's on fumes. He's on instinct. You can see. There's no shape. There's no sharpness. He's throwing punches and his hands are falling all over the place. His hands are falling into his chin. Excuse me, his hands are falling into his waist. He's got no shape. He can hardly keep his fucking hands up. The referee has decided to take a point off Warrington. For what reason? The heads have gone in a few times, but this is a cleaner fight from Warrington than some of his previous clean fights. So it is what it is. Oh, a lovely jab there from Warrington. Lovely jab. Warrington has breached Lee Wood's distance with ease tonight. Lee Wood has never really been able to keep Josh Warrington away from him at any point. Every time Warrington's wanted to get inside, he's got inside. And that's the story of the fight. But Lee Wood can punch. So you can't write off Lee Wood. He can punch. But it's going to take something pretty big. But you never know with Wood. You never know. He's still pushing forward, Lee Wood. But at the minute, oh, that's a lovely right hand there from Warrington. Warrington with the up jab, right hand, left hook. All landing there from Warrington. Jesus Christ. Guys, do you think Lee Wood should be pulled out? I would say not yet, but are we getting to the stage where you think Lee Wood should be pulled out? We've got 174 in here and only 37 likes. Absolutely filthy. If you'd like to hit the like button, please feel free. We might have a few people calling in at the end of the show, but I'm only going to do the calling if more people like the stream. If people don't like the stream, I'm gonna call it a day. Seriously, because just because I'm petty like that. I'm petty like that. Right, 1 minute to go in round 7. Lee Wood now are at the point where he's looking for the one big shot because he knows there ain't no way he's winning this fight on cards. So Lee Wood's now trying to walk Warrington down and look for that one big shot. He's currently in Southpaw and he's trying to set Josh Warrington up probably for that left hand right hook that he's been looking for. And that was a good jab from Warrington, snapping Wood's head back. And Warrington is just totally dictating. So I'm just watching. They're up on the inside again. Wood's backed up against the ropes and they're on the inside. Some semi-decent defense there from Lee Wood. I was watching that very, very closely. Very, very closely up on the inside. Good body shot there from Warrington with a left hook to the body. My God. Oh, the left hook from Lee Wood. The right hook. Oh, what a finish. What a finish. It landed. The left hand. Warrington's finished. Wow. He knows he's done. That's crazy. Warrington's gone back to the corner, shaking his head. He knows. Wow. Lee Wood. How has he won that? He landed it. The left hand right hook worked. What a fight. He was toast. Hey, let me tell you something. You've got to give Ben Davison credit as a coach, because that is something that they have 100% worked on in training, because he was looking for that shot from round 1. And I was thinking, why does he keep looking for that shot? But he landed it. He landed it, man. The left hook, right hand. The left hand, right hook landed flush. What a shot. Perfect shot. He's been looking for that shot since round 1. And he hasn't had much success with it, really. And I was thinking, why is he not leading off with the jab? But listen, that is a clear game plan. And he stuck to that game plan. And that is it for me. What do you guys think? Press one if you agree with me. Would you think that's a game plan? I think that's a clear game plan that somebody in that team has said to him in a run-up, left hand, right hook is the shot. And he persisted. He was getting smashed. He was getting absolutely smashed in there. And he persisted with it. And it landed. And what a shot it was when it landed. Beautiful, beautiful shot. Boxing Classics HQ says Warrington got up too quick. Lee Wood obviously needs to can't be put in the ring with this Kolomontov or whatever. That's the end of him. Lee Wood needs to move up away or retire from boxing because Lee Wood can't be allowed in the ring with Kolomontov or whatever. But my word, when that shot landed, what a shot. And he was looking for that shot all fight. He stuck to the game plan. I'm watching the replay. Oh, it was a right hook. Sorry, he switched so many times I missed it. It was a jab, right hook. Oh, what a shot. It cleaned him out. Let's have a look. No, it was in southpaw. I was right. Left hand, right hook. No, I was right. He was looking for that shot all night. Left hand, right hook from the southpaw stance. He was looking for that combination from the beginning of round one. I could not understand why he went about it that way. I kept saying, why are you leading off with the left hand? Stick to your jab, break him down behind the jab, and then start bringing the left hand behind it. But Wood landed that combination. And my God, when Wood landed clean, he landed there. As Egg says, 5 clean punches. Look at this shot. Right hook, left hook. Oh, my God. Lee Wood absolutely finished him there. Oh, my Lord. There you go. Games You Love says fair play. Right, bear with me, and I will change the title of the stream, and then we'll see. I need to hit a certain amount of likes, or it's going to be end of the stream. So let's see what we're on. I've got 185 in the chat. If I can get to 75 likes in the next couple of minutes, I won't end the stream, and I'll stay on here and we'll do a call in. Otherwise, I'll see you guys later. Let's change the title of the stream. Wow! What a performance from Lee Wood. And you know what the sad thing was? Warrington went back to the corner, and before the referee even waved it off, he was shaking his head. He knew he was toast. He knew he was toast. One sec. I've got so many things going on. Guys, what do you think about that as a Fight of the Year contender? What do you guys think? What do you guys think? What do you guys think? Is that a Fight of the Year contender? That was a hell of a fight to watch, man. What do you guys think? Is that a Fight of the Year contender? 1 second. I will go through all your comments in a sec. Just need to get something up on the screen because it's playing up at the minute. Here we go. Sorry about that. Gee, I'm having a fucking nightmare at the minute. Lee Wood, what round was that? Can't remember. Was it around 8? What a fight that was. Good fight, man. Definitely worth it. Lee Wood retains his WBA featherweight title. Hold on. Was it round 8, guys? There we go. Done and done. Let's just do that again. Just give me a sec. Right. Sorry about that. We are back. There we go. As you can see on the screen there. Lee Wood, KO Josh Warrington. He retains the WBA title. What a finish. What do you guys think about that? Let's have a look. Let's go through your comments. Tommy G says, well done to Wood, but why was the ref always trapping Josh from moving from left to right near the ropes? I don't really understand that, Tommy. I'm a bit stupid. Explain that to me again. Daniel Rain, somehow this guy pulls it off. Ice Meister, insane finish. Super Epic Dish says, I've seen better fights in Aldi. Daniel Rain says he looks so done at the weight. Lee Wood is done at the weight. He ain't fighting at this weight no more. He's finished at the weight. You can see he was shot to bits at that weight, Lee Wood. You could see he was very, very sluggish. Very, very sluggish. In his shots, there's no snap on his shots. He lost his shape. He had no bounce in his feet. To me, it was looking like a rerun of Josh Taylor versus Teofimo Lopez. But Wood had that power, didn't he? And look, Daniel Rayne's got the same perm as Lee Wood. Oh, is this Lee Wood in disguise? Daniel Rayne. Can see you up in the comment section, yeah? Daniel Rayne. Can see your profile picture of you in a Taj Mahal, Daniel Rayne. With the same perm as Lee Wood, Daniel Rayne. Daniel Rayne's been making it rain on them tonight, man, with that perm. He ain't playing no games. Out here looking like Daryl from Coming to America. Darren Riggs Long says, wow, Woods cannot write off this guy. Unbelievable finish. Well, let me just hear what he's saying. One sec. Let me hear what he says. I can't really hear it. I can't really hear what he's saying because I don't want to do it. Don't want to do it on things. But yeah, Crazy D3 says a better comeback than Man United. That Man United comeback today hurt my heart, bro. That Man United 2 goals in injury time. I watched that live today. That hurt my heart. I thought it was going to be a good Saturday, Crazy D3. And then Scott McTominay done come off the bench and ruined it all. Slick Rick says, boom, $1 Congratulations, mate. Congratulations. Lee Wood, man. What a performance. Barry Jones, as you can see on the screen, that's what champions do. Wood needed one punch to change the fight. Let's have a look here. What a performance. Mark Stanton says, that arena emptied quick or the lights are not supposed to be on yet. Yeah, it looks empty. Look, we'll give Lee Wood the benefit of the doubt. Like, if you turned up to watch that, that was superb. Hey, big up Recall Boxing. Where have you been, man? Where have you been? Lee Wood's nuts. He is nuts, isn't he? Tony's review says, what a robbery. Yeah, Lee Wood done robbed Josh Warrington's jaw from the NHS, mate, because Josh Warrington will be going through another fucking jaw surgery today. So that's what Lee Wood's done. Lee Wood done robbed Josh Warrington's jaw from the NHS. Josh Warrington will need to be going private after that. What a KO. What a KO. I'll drop the link in a sec, Tony. No problem. I will drop you the link in just a sec. No worries. Let's have a look here. Right, let me get this link then. Blah, 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 blah. Right, let me get my headphones on. Guys, keep your comments going. It looks like we will be doing a bit of calling. Let me also check my DMs quickly, just in case people are DMing me. Great performance from Lee Wood. We can also talk a little bit about... One sec. Who's this twat? Who the fuck asked you? Sorry, I'm getting a bit mad. Who's this dickhead? Sorry about that. Let's have a look. Rematch for what? We don't need a rematch. Warrington's been clarted. What do we need a fucking rematch for? What do we need a rematch for? We don't need no rematch. Josh Warrington's been clarted. Hopefully for the final time now. That's it now. That's it. Them DAZN mics have been shot all night. Right, let me get this link. 1 second. I can't believe Wood took all that damage. Just madness, in it, from Wood. Madness. It is what it is, isn't it? But you know, Warrington, people... Do you not remember the early days of Warrington's career when he was on Matchroom and people thought Warrington wasn't a puncher? Do you not remember that? Warrington was never known as a puncher. And then all of a sudden, he starts fighting Carl Frampton, yeah? And he just starts beating him around the ring. Strange that. Do you not remember Warrington's early career before he went inside Frank Warren? He was not a puncher at all, was he? He was not a puncher at all. Warrington was never a puncher. Never showed any kind of... I mean, who did he fight for that European title before he fought Frampton? Before he fought Selby, sorry, Warrington. He fought for a European title, right? I remember on a Box Nation card. And I can't remember who he fought, but that was a questionable decision. When he won or defended his European title. All of a sudden, he jumps in the ring with fucking Frampton. And all of a sudden, he's a monster puncher. I don't know. Bit bizarre, eh? Yeah, Dent says, yeah, Warrington was just a worker. He was never a power puncher, but recently it is what it is. What's he saying in the ring? Games You Love says Warrington should hang them. Hopefully that's the end of it for her. We'd have to see him no more. It is what it is. They're talking in the ring. It looks to me, I can't see it, but is Warrington asking for a rematch of some kind? It is what it is. Mark Humby says Lee Wood never has a dull fight. Listen, I think Lee Wood's one of the best fighters in this country. Tonight, he was atrocious. He was absolutely atrocious, but I honestly do think he is one of the best fighters in this. When he's on song, I thought the way he boxed up until he got knocked out by Lara was superb. I think I watched the rematch. He boxed superb in the rematch. Lee Wood is an absolute quality fighter. He's a top quality fighter. There's no question about it. And you're right, Warrington's jaw does look messed up. So it is what it is. We'll have to wait and see. Yeah, I agree with that, Mark Statton. You can see But it's hard because Warrington's had a jaw injury before, but you can see there's something, there's some bone sticking out there. But then again, he's talking with aplomb though. So if his jaw was messed up, would he be able to talk with aplomb? We'll have to wait and see. I believe Tony's here, but let me just see. Can you speak, Tony, so I can see if I can hear you? Unmute yourself, Tony. Tony's here, but he's muted. Tony, when you're ready, unmute yourself. That's why I can't hear you. It's definitely not me. I can see he's on mute. Let me just check my volume is working. Hold on a minute. Hold on. Let me just check one.
It's not you, it's me. It was me.
Cool, actually.
If you can hear me, it was me.
Garbage. So bear with me. Right, Tony's unmuted himself, but I still can't hear him.
Okay. So what is you?
Tony, will you do me a favor? I know you're all there, but I can't hear you. But can you do me a favor? Just give us your breakdown of that fight, because I'll get my headphones working in just a sec if you're there.
Yeah, so I only gave Lee Wood the second round. He lost the first round. He lost the third round, fourth round, fifth round, sixth round, and he was losing the seventh round. Now, here's the thing about this. Can you hear me now?
You. Keep going.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, I can hear you. Keep going.
So the only round that I gave to Lee Wood, what you missed, was the second round. The referee saved Lee Wood on 3 different occasions. 3 different occasions he stopped the action in that fight, okay? It was early in like the second or the third round. He broke him up for no reason whenever they were close, chest to chest. I think he said something about a headbutt, but there was no headbutt. Then later on in like the fourth or the fifth round, he said that Warrington hit Lee Wood with a low blow where you could clearly see there was no low blow. It didn't even happen, but he stopped the action whenever Warrington had him trapped against the ropes and was beating the ever-living shit out of him. Excuse my language. I know y'all Brits like to beat that. So, beep. Anyways, I digress. In the 7th round, he almost had Lee Wood out of there, and he stops the action for Warrington hitting him behind the head, even though Lee Wood turned his head. Well, I'm sorry, in boxing, if you turn your head, an illegal shot becomes legal. You cannot turn your head and then call that illegal. No, that's a legal shot. The referee stops it. Then to make matters even worse, in that same 7th round that he took a point away from Josh Warrington with no warnings, not one. He didn't warn him once. He just took a point away. Then he goes on to wave the fight off after Warrington beats the count. The bell has already rang, so we're going from 7 to 8. We're going to go into the 60 seconds where Josh Warrington would get 60 seconds to recover. Warrington is up by the 5 count. He walks over to his corner. Now, yes, he was a little staggering when he walked over to his corner. By 8, he's grabbing the ropes, talking to his corner. He turns around, and then the referee waves it off. I have never in my life seen a referee wave the bell off whenever they get a 60-second break. I'm sorry. The referee did not want Warrington to win. Warrington was outclassing Lee all the way around the ring. It wasn't even competitive. Josh Warrington got sloppy. He got caught. He paid for it by getting knocked down, but he beat the count, and he got up.
What do you guys think about Tony's guys? A few people agree with you on that. So what do you guys think about the performance of the referee tonight? Do you think the performance of the referee engendered you with a lot of confidence tonight, guys? Do you guys think that there's been a bit of foul play there? Normally, the complaints are that Josh Warrington's the one who's getting away with things that he shouldn't be getting away in the ring with tonight. I have to say, I agree with you first and foremost about the point being deducted. What do you guys think about the point being deducted? Do you think that was right? Do you think that was wrong? It appears that Warrington didn't get much of a warning, and then a point was deducted. What do you guys think about that? Let me read this comment out, Tony, and I'll ask you another question. Darren Riggs Long agrees with Tony. He says, yeah, bad reffing. You're right. Totally agree. But if it went on, Woods would have finished him. For me, Warrington was done, Tony. I don't know what you think. But you got to give him the chances of world title or whatever. But to me, Warrington stumbled back to that corner and he shook his head. I think he knew that was the end of it. But we'll see. Let's have a look here. Games You Love says, Tony, right about the ref. Doesn't change that KO. Tony, can you unmute yourself? I want to ask you about Lee Wood. Did Lee Wood look like a guy to you tonight who came into the ring and was struggling to make the weight? Did he look to you like a guy who looked sluggish and had a bad weight cut, or were we just making excuses?
No, that's an excuse. He looked outclassed. The thing about it is this. Being weight drained normally doesn't appear within the first 2 rounds. It'll come after like the 5th, 6th, 7th. You'll start to wear it down early. But when you start the fight, you normally start off like you normally start off. You just deteriorate very quickly. So I didn't see a weight drain fighter in there. I saw a guy who was completely outclassed. Like he wasn't good enough. And then to even counter the weight drain even more, He got the knockdown in the 7th round, which meant he carried his power. Well, the first thing you lose when you're weight drained is your power.
Okay, let's see. I slightly disagree with you on that, but it's okay. I'm happy to defer to your superior boxing knowledge in that. I thought we'll hear what Lee Wood says post fight. To me, if you look at the Lee Wood that fought Mauricio Lara and the Lee Wood that fought tonight, it looked like two completely different Lee Woods. To me, he had no bounce in his feet from the get go. Couldn't adjust his feet. Had no bounce in his feet. He had no shape. He was punching. His punches went sharp. His eyes were coming to his back after his punching. He's carrying his hands extremely low, even by Lee Wood standards. To me, he did look quite sluggish, but Tony, it's fine. I'll take your opinion on that. It's not that I want to fight about that. But I'm just going to go through another comment here. Let's have a look here. You guys are not liking it. Before I get back to Tony, I just want to read some of your comments on what Tony said here. I sensed the ref would be a problem from just how scrappy the fight was, but I choose to ignore it and enjoy the fight. The stoppage was okay from the ref. I don't know about the rest. Daniel Campbell says he only warned him like in the 3rd and then randomly took a point in the 7th. Point made no difference. Josh was well up anyway. When Warrington had Wood on the ropes, ref was smothering, so Warrington couldn't step around. Tony, just explain this to me one more time. A few people said this. Can you explain this to me one more time, please, about this referee trapping Warrington?
Yeah, he was like, his eyes were so wide it looked like he was on cocaine. He was looking for a reason every time that Josh had him trapped against the ropes. Now, what they're talking about is he got super close to where Josh couldn't use angles. That was a different one to where he caught a low blow that never happened. So that's what they're talking about. He got damn near like stomach to shoulder with both of them, so Warrington couldn't step around or move. So it caused the clinch, and then that broke it up. But I'm telling you, like, the fix was it. Again, no matter what anybody says, yes, Warrington got knocked down. I'm not going to take that away from Lee. However, he beat the count. Not only did he beat the count, but the argument to be said that Lee Wood would have just stopped him goes out the window when you realize he got up after the bell. The bell had already rang. That means he gets 60 seconds of rest to recover, to get his wits back. So it's not like Lee Wood could have jumped on him. It didn't happen at the 2-minute marker, the 1-minute marker, 30 seconds left. He got up after the bell. So the fight stops for 60 seconds. He would have recovered.
So I'll just unmute myself. I think you're right about that, actually. Having heard that, I need to watch that back. I didn't pay attention as much as I should have. Guys, a few more comments on this, and then I want to move on just slightly, because there's only so much we can talk about Warrington versus Lee Wood. These ain't exactly superstars of the game. I'll ask Tony about some of the other fights on the card. And then if you get the likes up a little bit more, we're now up to 82 likes. If we get to 100 likes, in the next couple of minutes, we'll talk about Wilder, Joshua, Fury and Usyk, because there's been a bit of news around that. We haven't been around for a while. So we'll talk about the heavyweights in just a sec. Let's just go through some comments, and I'll ask Tony about the undercard. Abdul's here. He says the ref was worried about Warrington's headbutts. Abdul, are you saying that the referee was a bit overly cautious about Warrington and that he refereed on reputation rather than what was actually going on the fight? I can see Ade, Tony Bellew, Carl Froch, and Sonny Edwards on my TV screen right now. So give me a sec. Switch that off. Let's have a look here. Right, Tony, the undercard. What did you think about this Terry Harper versus Cecilia Brackhouse fight? That's one of the worst fucking unification fights I've ever seen in all my life, Tony.
2 robberies. Oh, hold on. Let me testing 1, 2, 3. Testing 1, 2, 3. Oh, okay. The animation wasn't moving on my screen, so I thought it was lag. Yeah. So I thought it was another robbery. I thought Cecilia won that fight. It was a horrible fight. It was a boring fight. Not much happened in that fight. And neither fighter looked like they had power. I think Cecilia's way past it. But Cecilia, in my opinion, won the fight. That 97-93 for Harper was I can't even talk. Like, it was atrocious. Like, that was some of the worst scoring I've ever seen. But I could tell by how the commentary was going that the fix was in, that they wanted Harper to win, because they wouldn't give Cecilia any type of accolades for anything she did in the ring. And then what I found even more funny was after like the 4th round, Cecilia was up on the CompuBox and they quit showing it all together. They didn't show it again because she was way up on her on the CompuBox. So I thought Cecilia beat her. I thought Harper only won 3 rounds. I had it 97-93 the opposite way, but it was a pretty trash fight. I think, like I said, Cecilia's past her best, and Harper's in a weight class that's too big for her. If you're talking, we cannot hear you.
That's correct, because I've muted myself yet again. Let's try that one again. Guys in the chat, if you press 1 right now, would you like to hear me and Tony move on from Lee Wood versus Josh Warrington and now talk about what's been going on in the world of boxing? Ari, Fury, Wilder, Usyk, the usual bollocks, and blah, blah, blah. If you'd like to hear that right now, press 1 on the chat. If there's anything more that you want to hear us talk about, Ari, Josh Space Vader Head Warrington, you know, if you want me to hear, you know, talk about Josh Warrington's up and coming jaw surgery down at the South Yorkshire Hospital or anything like that, please let me know if there's anything I've missed out on this fight, or if I could just leave this alone, switch off the zone and put it back where it belongs, in the trash. We're getting quite a few ones. Okay. All right, Tony, unmute yourself. Let's go through this. Let's go through some boxing news then, because we haven't been talking for a while. Tony, the return of Billy Joe Saunders. Tony, is he finished or not finished? And what do you think about his return?
I want to talk about that, and I know this is your channel, but if we're going to talk about returns, we need to talk about the greatest return in boxing. Campbell Hatton comes back October 21st against Jamie Sampson. Now, if you don't know who Sampson is, you need to open up your Bible. He's in the Old Testament. He's got very long hair, strongest man that ever lived. That's who Campbell Hatton is fighting, the strongest man that ever lived. And he's going to win because he's the GOAT from England. Now, Billy Joe Saunders. I don't know who he's fighting. Who is he fighting?
I don't know. No one knows, Tony. I don't think he even knows, but he says he's coming back at light heavy to start off with. For one fight, light heavy, allegedly one fight.
175. He started at 154, right?
He started at 150. No, wasn't he? No, he started at 160. He was always a 160, I believe, in his pro career, Tony.
Was he 160?
Yeah, it
was 154 with Andrade. I thought they were going to fight at 154.
Nope.
Okay, so I'm thinking about 160. So you figure, yeah, I mean,
and he was Tony. He was never a big 160. He should never really be 160. He should have been a 154 pounder. But people said that he lacked discipline outside of the ring. He was never really a true 160, Tony. Anyway, he certainly shouldn't have been at super middleweight, right? So his first fight, the plan is, Tony, one fight against some who knows what at light heavy to get the ring rust off. And then he's going to try to get back down to super middleweight. Let us know your thoughts.
I think it's kind of pointless. I don't understand why you would fight at 175 for one fight unless you're just doing like a fat camp and they're just going to put some type of soup can in front of him. Because to me, I would say it would be wiser to fight wherever you're going to fight at. So if it's going to be 168, that's where he needs to fight, super middleweight. And the quality of opposition that he's going to fight at 175 is a pointless fight. It doesn't even do him any good other than just put him in there. But at the same time, it's just going to be glorified sparring. So I don't know why he would fight at 175.
From an entertainment point of view, is he a guy who you miss outside of the ring? Like, do you fucking clamor for the return of Billy Joe Saunders? Did you enjoy watching him fight? Did you enjoy his fights? What do you think from a fan's perspective? Are you excited to see him back or whatnot?
I thought Billy Joe Saunders was very good until he got caught on his nasal spray. After that, everything that made him great seemed to go out the window. His agility, his speed, his endurance, the I'm looking with my hand over my eyes like I'm in the desert whenever he was fighting Lemieux. Like, all that kind of went out the window. So I don't know, like, even whenever he fought Canelo, he didn't look that slick. He was getting caught by counter shots all night long, and we know Canelo's big weakness is boxers that can move, and that's really what his best attribute was his movement, but it just didn't reflect. So I don't know. It could be that he's undisciplined, like you said. I don't know nothing about him, like what he does outside the ring, but yeah, I don't think he has much left. He got his face broke the last time he fought, and I just think
hasn't fought since. Do you think that's quite telling, Tony? I mean, I know he made a lot of money. He made about $5 million for the Canelo fight. Yeah, so we know Billy Joe Saunders made life-changing money. But do you think that says? I'm not trying to be too rude, but do you think that says a bit about his mentality? The fact that he took his first loss And when he took his first loss, he didn't come back to boxing. And you can say he had no intention of coming back to boxing because he got out of shape and was walking around at fucking heavyweight and things like that. Do you think that says anything about the kind of, because I know you've got to be in your bonnet about fighters who once they lose, they're never the same again type.
It depends. It could say something about his mentality. He got beat up so bad he was scared to get back in there until now. However, we don't know what the medical diagnosis was. So he may have been advised that, look, you got to wait X amount of time before you can even think about getting back in the ring, which could be another reason why he got out of shape, because most boxers aren't like me. They don't go to the gym, lift weights, they're not built like AJ. The way that they train is by boxing. So maybe the doctor told him that, look, you got to stop for this amount of time. And that's why it's been so long. If he had a green light after like 6 months and he just hasn't been in because he's lost, then yeah, I would say he's probably mentally weak.
Let's move on. And let's move on to something else that's very, very close to my heart. So I'm sure you've heard by now, guys, in the chat, Deontay Wilder versus Anthony Joshua. This fight has gone from locked in December, and that fight has now gone from possibly not happening at all. Tony, it seems that he's going to get a title shot. It seems like, as it stands, the IBF might make him the mandatory, or him versus Hrgovic will basically fight for the title, because the winner of Fury and Usyk, if they fight, will have to give up the IBF title or give up the other belts. Do you know what I mean? So the winner of Fury and Usyk has to defend their title against Filip Hrgovic next year if Fury and Usyk fight. So they've both signed allegedly a 2-fight deal. It's got a two-way rematch clause. So there's likely to be a rematch for Fury versus Usyk. So they can't fight Hrgovic in that case. So it looks like the winner of Fury and Usyk undisputed will have to immediately give up the IBF title. And at that point, Hrgovic could be called to fight Anthony Joshua. Now, there's some clever people in the chat who were saying it might be Otto Wallin because he fought in a recent eliminator against that cruiserweight champion Gassiev and beat him. But we know how these governing bodies work, yeah, and we know how these governing bodies rankings work, and we know how they work is money under the table. And 1 minute, all of a sudden, a name that you've never seen before, or a name that shouldn't be there, all of a sudden just magics themselves into a place where they shouldn't be. But at the minute, as it stands, Tony, Wilder versus Anthony Joshua certainly doesn't look like it's going to be happening anytime soon, and Anthony Joshua could be getting a title shot. First question would be, what fight should he take? Which is a bit of a stupid question, but I'll ask you anyway. What fight should he take? A fight with Wilder for no title and a shitload more money, or a fight with Hrgovic for a shitload less money, but becomes a world champion again?
Well, either way he goes, he would have a shot at the title, because if he beats Deontay Wilder, they would deem the winner of that the mandatory for Tyson Fury, Usyk. So because remember, Andy Ruiz was supposed to fight Deontay Wilder, then he wanted like $25 million, so it never happened. So if AJ could beat Wilder, he's the WBC mandatory, because the next person who fights Wilder will be in that position. I would say he needs to fight Deontay Wilder just because it's so huge. And like I said, he has the same to gain. Like if he beats Wilder, he's a mandatory. If he beats Hrgovic, he's a mandatory. I highly doubt they're going to strip Tyson Fury or Usyk in the rematch, because they're going to lose out on all that money. They get a percentage of that. So we know rematches tend to do more money than the first fight. So there's no way they're going to strip Tyson Fury or Usyk with that rematch clause that they have. And plus, they always say, unifications trump mandatories. So I foresee the only way that AJ, if he did beat Hrgovic to become the IBF mandatory, would get a belt is if Usyk retires or Fury retires after their 2 fights.
The IBF have sent a letter to both Fury and Usyk telling them 100%, allegedly, they've sent them a letter to say, you have to fight Hrgovic next. You have to. That's apparently what's happened. I'm trying to get it up on the screen, so we'll have to wait and see about it. But apparently, the IBF have sent a letter to both of them and said, "You are going to be." Here we go. Oh well, we'll see. All right. Darren Riggs Long in the comments says, "Hearn just looking for the easier route. No one wants anything other than Wilder Joshua. Then they can fight the winner of Usyk and Fury. Anyways, Tony, are we at this stage where maybe Matchroom just need to come out and say, look, it's just too dangerous. We're just not interested. Anthony Joshua will take it, but we just don't want it because they've been mucking around with this, Tony. Now, December, November, they've been talking about this fight. They've been talking about this fight for 10 years, and it doesn't look like it's any closer, or that we're any closer to getting to see the fight we want. Also, what it does mean, Tony, as well, by the way, is because now they're saying that Anthony Joshua's next fight is effectively dependent, on what happens between Fury and Usyk. What now is going to happen, in my opinion, is we're going to see Anthony Joshua come back in a couple of months' time against another Jermaine Franklin, against another Robert Helenius. And they're going to build that fight as AJ needs to get back in the ring, and he's going to take this fight, and then it's going to be, a possible IBF title shot at the end of Fury and Usyk. Does that make sense now? I think that now gives them actually carte blanche to make another sort of,
Well, he can't. He can't get in a title shot unless he beats Hrgovic, and Hrgovic doesn't have to fight AJ because he doesn't have a mandatory. He is the mandatory. So unless Eddie Hearn can throw enough money at Hrgovic to make him want to get in the ring with AJ, he's shit out of luck when it comes to the IBF anyways. So it doesn't matter if he beats a tomato can. It doesn't matter what people say, oh, he needs to fight the winner of the Undisputed, especially if Usyk wins. If Usyk wins, nobody wants to see another fight between AJ and Usyk. Now, in my opinion, I think Deontay Wilder, Anthony Joshua does more money than Tyson Fury Usyk. I think that's the biggest fight in boxing, not because it's the most skilled guys in boxing, but because of the fireworks that come behind it. Because it's going to end in a knockout. There's no other way it goes. Somebody's going to sleep, and they're going to sell the shit out of it.
Fury versus Usyk signed. Do you believe this fight's going to happen?
Yes.
We've always said it was going to happen, didn't we, on this channel? We've always said it will happen down the line. What are your initial thoughts on it?
My initial thoughts are this. Tyson Fury, I really think he would have already fought Usyk, but I think there's more that goes on behind the scenes about Usyk, being that he walked away from the fight twice than what we know. But I think Tyson Fury just wanted the biggest money grab that he could get. He's going to get that with Francis Ngannou, and they're going to bring over all them MMA people that are delusional, thinking that Ngannou has a chance. And after that, he'll fight Usyk. Now, the only thing that I question is if Tyson Fury beats Usyk, or I should say when he beats him, I think he retires like he did to Klitschko. I think he's done. I don't think Usyk gets a rematch.
Wouldn't surprise me. Wouldn't surprise me at all. Certainly, Fury does have a bit of a precedent for retiring and then coming back in the ring. We'll have to wait and see. So you're confident then? You know what? I'm just had to think about it. That fight takes place early stage of next year. Listen, I think Usyk can win this fight pretty easily. That's my opinion on that. But I will say one thing. Usyk hasn't fought that much, in the last year or two, has he? He's been fighting like once a year, for the last couple of years. Yeah. And I'm just going to wonder when is it going to be that he actually finally gets in the ring of time? It's got to happen before March, so it's going to happen March at the latest. So how many months will that be? Usyk out of the ring. He fought Dubois when April. When did he fight Daniel Dubois, Tony? Sorry, April. My ass. Sorry. When did he fight Daniel Dubois? That was like 2 months ago, right?
Yeah.
August. Yeah, August. So yeah, August, September, October, November, December, January, February, March. Yeah, it's 6-7 months. It's not too bad. Tony, is there anything else that comes to your head, or is there anything else any other boxing news that you'd like to speak about, or anything that we haven't mentioned there? Fury versus Usyk, we've done. We've done Anthony Joshua's non-fight with Deontay Wilder. The next fight we've got is KSI versus Tommy Fury. I actually will cover that. And do you know what? To be honest with you, I'm actually looking forward to that. To be honest,
please don't say that. Please don't.
You know what?
Please,
British boxing doesn't do it for me anymore. Like, I really struggle to do these shows, and I really struggle to get the enthusiasm to do these shows because they're just sweet fuck all going on. But I have to say, this KSI versus Tommy Fury fight, why not, innit? Why not? We need something a bit different. Listen, if you're asking me what would I rather watch, KSI versus Tommy Fury or Terry Harper versus Cecilia Brackhouse unification fight, mate, I'm going for Tommy Fury versus KSI all day long. And what have we got? What have we got after that, Tony? There's a fight after that as well. Hold on, we've got KSI. And isn't there a fight the week after that? There's something going on after that. People are in the chat asking me about Dan Aziz and fucking Buatsi. I mean, it is what it is. Tony, you got any thoughts? Someone's asking me about Canelo versus Charlo. I actually didn't watch that. I fell asleep, and then when I heard that Charlo basically turned up for a paycheck, I couldn't be asked to watch it. What are your thoughts on that one, Tony?
I'm gonna say this. We're gonna start with KSI first because that's what you brought up. That's what you opened up. KSI is the worst boxer I've ever seen in my life. I have seen 6-year-olds with more boxing ability than him. what people say Jake Paul is and all the fun that they make of Jake Paul, that is what KSI is. He is pure trash. There's nothing good about him. He is garbage. Like in his last fight, I saw the highlights of it where he elbowed Fournier. So, I mean, I guess if he lands an elbow, maybe he could win. But yeah, nah, Tommy Fury should just easily beat this dude because he's trash. All he does is he jumps off his feet and wing shots like he's swimming, like he's doing the breaststroke in a swimming pool. That's what he looks like. I mean, he's just trash. Like the dude, and he's delusional because he thinks he's good. Like he is completely delusional, which is even crazier. As far as Canelo Charlo, I think Charlo is getting a lot of flack that he doesn't deserve. It's a fight that I knew he stood no chance. I said it multiple times, made a video about it. But yeah, like you got to understand, he came up from 154 pounds to put on 14 pounds to fight a guy that's a little cinnamon swole monster, the elite of 168 outside of Benavidez. So when you've got a guy who is naturally bigger than you, because people always look at height and they're like, oh, Charlo's bigger because he's taller. That has nothing to do with it. It's the weight behind your ass. Charlo looked flabby in there against Canelo. Canelo looked chiseled by a hammer. So, again, Charlo hit Canelo with some hell of a shots, but he realized very quickly that there was nothing he could do to Canelo to hurt him. Not only is Canelo elite, but he has probably the best chin in all of boxing. So when he saw that he couldn't hurt him with anything he hit him with, and Canelo just kept walking forward, and then yet Canelo's probably hitting Charlo harder than he's ever been hit in his career. In fact, he's the only second person to drop him. And when Charlo got dropped before, that was a long time ago. So how much can you really put into that? But Canelo put him on his ass. So again, when you can't hurt somebody, they're walking through you, and they're beating on you and hitting you harder than you've ever been hit before, you're going to do exactly what Charlo did. You're going to be looking for survival because he just didn't belong in the ring.
Jesus, that is what it is. I didn't waste my time. Just guys, before we go, have you got any other? I'm just trying to think out what's the schedule. Tony, what actual fights are coming up? Sorry, I'm just not with it at all at the minute. This garbage here from the UK, Tony, that was serving up here, a steaming turd, also known as Jack Catterall, versus the corpse of Jorge Linares. Listen, I ain't watching that shit.
Jack Catterall is undisputed champion, in my opinion. That is the uncrowned king of the division. But you have Haney Prograis that's coming up too, if you want to stick to 140. I think that's going to be a very good fight, Haney Prograis, because we're going to see if Haney's power comes up with him, even though he didn't have any at 135. But we're going to see if he grows into his man strength by not cutting as much weight. And we're also going to see if he can take a shot, because Prograis is going to land. But Prograis looked bad in his last fight. So I don't know if Prograis has aged. So we'll have to see. I think that's a really good fight, though, stylistically. You got a outside boxer in Haney, and then somebody who likes to get in the pocket, which is Prograis.
Tony, just 1 second. This is Josh Warrington, okay? On the screen right now. This is Josh Warrington on the Leeward stoppage, and Blue Collar Sports has been saying the same thing as well. He caught me with a good shot, but I felt good. I'm listening to the count. I hear 6, 7. I turn around at 8, and he's waving his arms. There's seconds left in the round. I'm a bit disappointed. I feel let down.
I mean, isn't that pretty much what I said when I started on here?
True, it is.
I thought it was a robbery. I think it's a robbery. I think Eddie is losing all his fighters, and he's going to do whatever he can to protect his promotional company.
Leeward was not this. This is not surprising at all. Leeward was behind on all 3 of the judges' scorecards. These were the judges' scorecards at the time of stoppage: 58-56, 59-55, and 59-55. That one judge had it 58-56 at the time of stoppage. That's a bit of a worry, isn't it? 58-56, Tony.
I know.
That looks a bit too clear. I had Warrington at the time of stoppage, yeah? So it was round 7. I thought it was round 8, but I had Warrington like fucking 5-1 up. I had him 5-1 up.
I did too. Yeah,
5-1.
So 59-55 is the correct score. But again, my only thing is this. Like I said, if there would have been 2 minutes, 1 minute, 30 seconds left, hell, if there would have been 15 seconds left, I could agree with the referee waving it off. But you don't wave off a fight after the fucking bell. Like, you get to rest. Give him his 60 seconds. See what he looks like when he comes out the corner.
I think I have to be honest with you. I think I totally missed that. I saw the shot, and I don't think I actually was conscious of how much time there was left. And now it makes sense. When I saw Warrington go back to the corner and shake his head, I must have got that wrong. He must have been shaking his head at the referee stopping it. I thought he shook his head because he knew he was done. He knew he wasn't going to be able to make the count because he looked a bit unsteady to me. But actually, looking back on it, he's probably shaking his head because he knew referee called it a day. It was what it was. Darren Meeslogs keeps asking this question. I don't want to answer this question because I don't give a fuck. But since you're asking it, Darren,
Chantel gonna whoop her again. Chantel gonna beat her again and beat her just as bad, if not worse.
I'm hoping for a retirement speech. Listen, I will watch this, Tony, if Katie Taylor agrees to come in the ring, draped in the Irish flag, and give a retirement speech and promise, never to come back here to a sport of female boxing ever again, then I will sit and watch through this so-called mega fight. But other than that, do you know what I mean? I don't think I can stomach it again. And I'll be honest with you, like I said, Tony, before, I don't know why anybody would be lapping up for a rematch. The first fight, do you think the first fight was a close fight?
No.
I didn't.
No, she got dominated.
One-way traffic, got dominated. She's too small. She's too small. And you know Katie Taylor, Tony, you know what she's going to do. In my opinion, she's a very amateur style of boxing. I've said that from day one. I've always said I think she's a bit like a female Amir Khan type deal there because she's a bit of an amateur boxer. Everything's in clusters, 3s, 4s, and 5s. She throws a lot of clusters. She's very much on shoe shining and very much on work rate and very much on point scoring. But unfortunately, she's up against somebody who can punch her, hit her, grind her down, and hurt her. And for me, Chantel Cameron versus Katie Taylor's, I find that quite a nice analogy for the difference between pro boxing and amateur boxing, in my opinion. When you've got someone like Katie Taylor who's nice to getting off those flurries, getting off those 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 flurries that which shoe shine and get the judges' attention, and then you've got someone like Cameron who's more about grinding you down, setting a high pace, investing in the body, something that we don't see a lot of in amateur sport. Not because they can't do it, but obviously because, like you said, it is what it is. Hit them in the head with the whites of the gloves and score points that way. I just think, like I said, Chantel Cameron is more built for the pro game as well. The way she fights, she paces herself. The pace she fights at, the way she cuts off the ring, the shots she throws, the way she invests in the body and broke Katie Taylor down from the body up in the first fight. For me, Tony, like I said before, I just think Chantel Cameron that's where female boxing is going, in my opinion, Tony, in the next 5, 6, 7, 8 years.
Well, the thing about it is this. Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
No, please go on. No.
My thing is this, and I know a lot of y'all from the UK, most of the people listening from the UK, but I don't think Katie Taylor's that good. I never thought she was that good. I always said she gets the Canelo treatment on the scorecards because in the first fight against Pursoon, I thought she lost. I thought Leonardo beat her, and I thought Amanda Serrano beat her. So with all that being said, you got a girl like Chantel Cameron who is she's just technically great. Like the way that she controls the distance, the angles, her movement, like you were talking about, she's just superior to her in every single way. And then when you take into account that Katie Taylor can't rough her up because she's smaller, well, she just loses in all angles of the fight. And that's what happened the first time. So there's nothing she can do to beat Cameron. Cameron's too good for her. Cameron is what they made Taylor out to be. That's what Cameron is, in my opinion.
So what is the logic behind Katie Taylor versus Chantel Cameron when they could have just done a Katie Taylor versus Amanda Serrano? That Serrano fight she's got a chance in because Serrano's a brawler who's always going to leave herself open, to being counterpunched by a good boxer like Katie Taylor. So that's a really winnable fight for me, the Amanda Serrano fight. I don't know why they can't find a way to try and resurrect that fight.
Because you got to understand, Ultra. The only reason why Katie Taylor, in my opinion, had an argument in the first fight to win, what slid it, I guess, to where they could cheat in her favor, in my opinion, was Amanda Serrano in that fight. She came up in weight, okay? And she got tired, which is not in her characteristic, but she got tired through the stretch. Now, that makes sense. She's not used to carrying that much weight. Amanda Serrano fights at a high pace, so it wore her down. What they're worried about is Amanda Serrano acclimating to the heavier weight. That's why the rematch never happened, and not getting tired. Well, what happens in that fight if the 8th round Serrano's not tired and she's coming on like she was in the first round? Well, then you can't even cheat her because she's going to get so outlanded that there's no argument to be made. That's why Katie Taylor never fought her again, because she would lose, in my opinion.
Let's wrap up with a completely different question, and then I'm going to go to sleep. I'm not really. I'm going to play some Insurgency Sandstorm. I'm going to ask you about the state of boxing in the UK in terms of. Let's start with the promoters. Do you think, Tony, that there's been a power shift in the UK, and that Eddie Hearn might no longer be the number one promoter in the UK?
Well, I don't know. I mean,
just if you don't care, you don't care. If you don't want to answer, don't answer. I'm just I'll throw that. I'll throw a curveball at you. Or is it, I'm not sure. If I had to guess, I'd say maybe it's a bit premature, but it's not looking good right now. It's really not looking good at that Matchroom. What's going on at Matchroom, the stable they have, and it's something that we don't often talk about. And I thought I'd ask you it, but a couple of years ago in the UK, right? Let's say 10 years ago, Tony, Frank Warren was considered an absolutely finished force. Now, I and everybody in this channel will know, I have said from day dot, that I think Frank Warren is probably a better all-round promoter than Eddie Hearn. I was actually ridiculed for saying that for a very, very long time. Again, those people who said that are nowhere to be seen. We all know where they are, aren't they? But we're getting to the point now, I think, where there's starting to be a bit of a decline. Do you not think, like, in terms of like this, the quality of the Matchroom cards, the quality of the fighters that are signed to Matchroom, there seems to be a problem making fights. Have they really got any exciting fighters coming through, Tony? To me, Tony, and again, don't feel free to just skip it if you want, but for me, I thought I'd ask. So I know the audience will be interested. If you look at Matchroom as where they are now, Tony, 2023, if you compare to the peak of Matchroom, about 2015, 14, 12, think about the as Anthony Joshua was on the road to becoming world champion. So, think about, the fights before Charles Martin, when he was knocking out the Kevin Johnsons. Do you remember that kind of time? Anthony Joshua was coming through and he was fringe world class. He was knocking out the Kevin Johnsons. He was knocking out these kind of guys. And there was just a big buzz about UK boxing and a big buzz. I don't know, Tony. To me, it's not looking good right now. What do you feel?
Well, I mean, I don't know, because you got to think, Eddie, to me, so here's the problem with Eddie, and this is why he's in the predicament that he's in, okay? He's a horrible matchmaker. He's a good promoter. He's always doing some type of interview. He's always pushing his fighters. However, his fighters always seem to lose because he doesn't know how to matchmake them. And that's the issue. Like, he puts them in compromising situations like he did with AJ against Ruiz. Like, AJ, when you have a star that big, that good, he shouldn't even been going into a fight, especially if the rumors are true that he had a concussion 2 weeks before getting in there with an unknown fighter that he didn't train for. So, in my opinion, Eddie has done good at promoting, but his demise has been his matchmaking. Now, as far as his up-and-coming fighters, I mean, I think about, like, Bam Rodriguez. He's young. Sonny Edwards, he's kind of boring. You got Lee Wood, who we just saw fight. And then, what's his name? Opataya. Isn't he signed to DAZN as well?
Yeah. He's got a couple of fights. Yeah.
So Opataya looks really good at cruiserweight. So, I mean, I don't know. Like, they got a few good young fighters that are up there that they could make into something. And then, he's got Beevil as well, who he's just shelved. Like, I don't know what's going on with
He can't get him. He can't get him anything. He can't get him anything.
But he could have. So Beevil could have fought Beterbiev for undisputed. They were in talks, and Beevil turned it down. Now Beterbiev has to fight Callum Smith. However, it could have been Beevil. Where was Eddie Hearn to set up undisputed?
I think there wasn't a problem with the WBC saying that a Russian can't fight for the WBC title or something. There's a problem with that, right? The WBC said it. They won't allow a Russian to fight for the title. So it wouldn't have been for undisputed, right? So I think that was part of the problem.
Let me ask you a question. How did Beevil fight Canelo?
No, I'm just saying, though, in terms of when Bivol was up to fight Beterbiev, I'm pretty sure Mauricio Suleiman actually said we're not up for letting a Russian fight for the WBC title at that time. That's all I'm saying. That's what Mauricio Suleiman said.
What I'm saying is that doesn't make any sense, because what is Beevil? Where is he from? Russia. So I'm not understanding. Like, you have a Russian fighter in Beevil, and then Canelo fought him.
Exactly. I don't know what's going on, but that is what Mauricio said. But I look. I don't know, Tony.
I thought, wait, somebody said it was for the WBA. I thought Beevil had the WBC and Better Beef has the other three.
No. Yeah, Beterbiev has the WBC, yeah. Beterbiev.
Okay.
Is it Beterbiev the WBC?
Is it? I thought.
Okay, let me check that. Sorry, carry on. Let me check.
Let's see what 3 belts.
That's okay. I thought Beterbiev.
He does have the WBC. He's got the IBF, WBC, WBO.
Yeah,
You're right.
Okay, yeah, that's okay.
So it was the WBA. But either way it goes, every time Better Be fights, he's a Russian with the WBC title. So it doesn't even make sense.
Yeah. All right, Tony.
Hold on. There is one fight. There is one fight coming up. Zerto and Joe Smith Jr. Who do you have in that fight?
I don't even. You know what? I'm going to embarrass you. I don't think I've seen Zerto properly. I don't think I've even seen him. Joe Smith, obviously, I've had a good look at because I would have liked him to be a fight for Anthony Yard, and I think that would have been a good fight because Joe Smith comes to fight, and we all saw his fight with Beterbiev. He came to fight. He came to fight a bit too much and got taken out. But I'm not too sure about Zerto versus Joe Smith. But by all means, give us your give us your take on it. By all means, man.
No, I really don't know who's going to win it. I think Zerto built his name off of beating Mexican cab drivers, and it showed wherever he fought Beevil. It was so one-sided. But again, Zerto's a big dude. He comes in over 200 pounds, and Joe Smith Jr. is not the most agile. So it may be competitive. On paper, Joe Smith should win. He's been in with much better quality of opposition. But, Better Be completely annihilated him, so we don't know how he's going to come back after that either.
Absolutely.
But
he cleaned him out. He absolutely cleaned him out.
I like Anthony Yard a lot, but I don't think Anthony Yard will ever be a champion unless he gets rid of Tunde because he's a trash.
I don't know, man. Tunde used to listen to this show and shit, man. I don't know, man.
I don't. Tunde, he ain't got nothing to do with what I'm saying. Right now, Tony's reviews. Don't worry, I got a small following, but you're a trash coach. You'll never make him a champion. If you really care about Anthony Yard, let him go. Let him go to a real trainer. You're trash. You're no good. And yeah, like I was done with Tunde whenever he threw in the towel whenever Anthony Yard was fighting Better Beef. Like I was done with him. The dude's trash.
Oh, dude, Tunde, stamina for sale. No, you're gonna get me in trouble, Tony. All right, Tony, I'm gonna stay on for just 2 minutes and say a bit about Matchroom. But hopefully we can get you back on ASAP. I mean, I'm out of it. I did a COVID test today because I'm so out of it. I actually thought I had COVID. So I actually did a COVID test. I'm actually negative. But
okay, that's good.
Yeah, no, I'm absolutely out of it right now. But brother, so I'm not quite with it. And I'm also off the antidepressants as well. So I'm even more scatterbrained than usual. Thank you very much for coming on. The next fight is KSI, but so come back next week.
Oh my gosh, I'm not coming back for that one. I'm not coming back for that one.
You will. Come on, it'll be fun.
No.
That'll be fun. That's what I'm saying. Like that will actually be fun. It'll be like watching white collar boxing. It'll be so funny. It'll be like watching white collar boxing. Like I promise you, yeah. If you guys all tune in, yeah, for KSI versus Tommy Fury, I think it's going to be fun, man. Because British boxing right now ain't been fun, and this Misfits card, Tony, is going to be jokes. Because these Misfits, these Misfits guys that we're seeing, these are all the guys that we've seen in the gym, Tony. We've seen a million guys in the gym, yeah, box for the first time. They box just like these Misfits guys, and you're walking over to them going, yeah, do this, do that, yeah. You got to bring your hand back, bring that hand back when you throw this hand, yeah. This is how you block, yeah. This is how you parry. No, your feet are too straight. Why don't you like? It's literally going to be like going back to boxing school, Call it back to school. I'm an old man, Tony. They still got these back to school events where a bunch of 40-year-olds turn up in school gear, yeah, with fucking blazers and ties and like to relive their youth. That's what it will be like for me, Tony, watching this Misfits card next week. Be like going back to box. Can you hear this? The glee in my voice. As soon as I start talking about it, yeah, I just start to come out of away from all this dark depression of Lee Wood main events and a 41-year-old Celia Brackhouse, yeah, near the top of the boxing card and all this fucking shit that's going on. I just come out of the black depression, yeah, of all the recent nonsense that has been on UK TV. Tony,
you know what it is? They must have some only fangirls fighting on that card that I don't know about, and that's why you're so excited because that main event KSI is trash. The dude is trash. I'm happy that you're excited, and yeah, maybe I will come through while you're doing a live breakdown, but I probably won't watch the fight at all. But I feel your pain. I'm sick too. I got a sinus infection. It happens every time the weather changes. But Yeah, you get some sleep. I appreciate you letting me on, and go ahead and go into your last 2-minute spiel. I'm out.
Thank you, my man, and I'll see you next week. Guys, I really apologize tonight if I haven't been at my best. I really need to start getting back here into doing regular shows. I'm not very well at the minute. I just don't know what it is. Like I said, I thought I had COVID. I took a COVID test. I was absolutely done. I want to say something, and I think this is going to start rolling into a new set of shows that I'm going to start doing, yeah? So we've got 157 in the chat. I really appreciate the 157 being here because this show's been hot garbage tonight. So, and I really appreciate the 105 likes. I didn't even deserve that, yeah, for the performance tonight. But let me take off my headphones. Before I go, yeah, let's have a chat. You're gonna like this chat. Do we think, and I could be wrong, we'll have to wait and see. Let's start with the basics, right? Let's start with the basics. Usyk versus Fury. Let's start with the basics. Frank Warren, and I'm going to do a whole show on this hopefully soon. If Frank Warren does not get this fight done, don't bother returning to the UK. That's my first message. Press 1 if you agree with me on that. Press 2 if you disagree. If Tyson Fury and Alexander Usyk, yeah, do not step in a boxing ring unless there is some form of injury to Alexander Usyk, yeah? That's the only way boxing fans are going to allow it, yeah? Unless there is some kind of injury to Tyson, to Alexander Usyk, and he's the one who pulls out of this fight, let me tell you right now, Frank Warren, if you're listening, if you don't deliver this fight, stay in Saudi Arabia. Don't bother coming back. And if Hamas turn up here in a Toyota pickup van and happen to kidnap you and take you as hostage bait, yeah, then so be it. Because don't bother. Like, just literally, like, don't bother coming back. That's the first thing about Frank Warren. Frank, I love you to bits, yeah, but I have to tell you right now, you are on camera, Frank Warren. You are on camera and saying it's done. You're on Talk Sport saying it's done. People's patience now, I don't give a shit, to be honest, if the fight's on or off, but I'm talking about other people's patience, mate. If this fight does not happen, Frank Warren, I'm telling you, you need to get on the phone to Turkey Al-Sheikh, yeah? You need to get on a Fly Emirates flight straight over to Turkey Al-Sheikh's place, yeah? And let me tell you something. Get straight to the UK embassy and talk about getting a long-term visa. Don't bother showing your face in the UK again. Press 1 if you'd agree with me on that. Press 2 if you disagree. Frank Warren, a.k.a. it's done, guys. It's done. Frank, I'm telling you right now. Frank, if that fight don't happen, don't step foot in the UK again. Because that's all you'll ever hear about for the next 10 years. That's all you'll ever hear about for the next 10 years. So that'd be my first thing about Frank Warren needs to make sure that fight happens. Regardless of who wins and who loses or whatnot, that fight has to happen. If that fight doesn't happen, yeah, the amount of stick that Frank Warren's going to be getting, it's going to be unhealthy to see an 80-year-old man getting that much stick, yeah, over the internet from a bunch of keyboard warriors. So Frank, if you're listening, yeah, if you don't make that fight, Frank, it's going to be Fly Emirates. That's what's going to be for you, Frank Warren. If you don't make that fight, Fly Emirates. Yeah. And like I said before, hopefully your mate Turkey Al-Sheikh can give you. Turkey Al-Sheikh might have to give you a new identity, Frank. You might not even be able to go under the name Frank Warren anymore. You might have to be go under the name. You might have to. What's your name? My name is Frank Ulhak. Oh, what does you do? I'm working construction. That's what's going to happen, man. All of a sudden, yeah, in the rich part of Riyadh, you're going to see an 8-year-old Frank Warren, yeah, walking around in full garb, claiming to be Frank Ulhak. Oh, I'm sure I've seen you before on TV. Didn't used to work in boxing. Me? Nah, never. I used to work in construction. New identity, innit? Crazy Free says Fuad Al Warren. That's what I have to be, man. They're going to have to hook him up with a new identity. Fuad Al Warren. Mate, that's it, mate. It's a wrap, mate. It's a wrap if you can't make that fight. All right? So, first and foremost, yeah, Frank Warren, all his energy should be going into making sure that Fury and Usyk show up in that ring in Riyadh, yeah, before March. Because if that don't fucking happen, it ain't looking good. It ain't looking good. 2. Do you guys think that I'm definitely got a chest infection? I'm telling you, I'm in big trouble here. Do you guys think that we are maybe beginning to see the changing of the guard in terms of promoters in the UK. What do you guys think? Do you think the tide's changing now? I've never seen Matchroom look so bad. To be honest with you, Matchroom Eddie, I've never seen Matchroom look so bad and so weak. Like, it's actually bad for the sport of boxing in this country. They look like cannon fodder at the minute. To me, I'm being honest with you. They look like cannon fodder to me. They look like a promotional company that is totally and utterly out of ideas to me. There's no new stars that I can see. There's nobody really that they've got that's must-watch TV. There's nobody really that they've got that's really, you know, they're not really... They're making good fight. They're still making good fight. Like, Haney and Prograis is a good fight, you know. But I'm just talking about from a UK boxing fan perspective, it does seem like the Matchroom magic is gone, doesn't it? What do you guys think about that? Yes or no? To me, it seems like, you know, the magic is starting to go a little bit, you know. And I agree with you, Damien, signing Billy Joe Saunders. I mean, that's a guy, Billy Joe Saunders, who, in my opinion, like I said before, he's not an incredibly exciting fighter to watch. You know, his performance against Lemieux was excellent, but he's not a particularly exciting fighter to watch. He doesn't sell a lot of tickets, you know. I don't know. I don't know why you would go back into the Billy Joe Saunders business. To me, the Billy Joe Saunders business isn't a profitable business, especially when he's not stepping in the ring with someone like a Canelo Alvarez. What's the point, right? The Billy Joe Saunders business is not a profitable business. That's a business that ain't done a profit in years. To me, I don't know. I don't know what you guys think about it. I'm actually starting to feel quite bad for them. I think that they need to get it together. They need to get it together quite quickly. Because if they don't get it done quite quickly, it's not good. You know, if Frank Warren really does make Usyk and Fury, yeah, and Frank manages to do some big fights with these guys in Saudi Arabia, I don't know where that leaves Eddie, you know? What do you guys think? I don't know where that leaves Eddie. You know, he's on DAZN. You look at DAZN in a minute. What have they got going on? Outside of you know, a few boxing fights here or there, there's no real must-watch team. Now, listen, like I said before, maybe they'll get the Premier League rights. Maybe DAZN will get the Champions League rights. That will change everything. But as it stands at the minute, when you look at what DAZN have got on TV, you look at the kind of fights Matchroom are putting on, you know, they're beginning to lose fighters. They're losing fighters. They're not only losing fighters, but they're beginning to lose out on prospects. You know, it was almost a guarantee years ago that, you know, any sort of top prospects really would be snapped up by Matchroom. That's kind of stopped happening. You know, I don't know. Keep an eye on it, because I'm going to wait and see until I see if Fury can get in the ring with Usyk. Because if Fury doesn't get in the ring with Usyk in Saudi Arabia and make a whole ton of money and make Queensbury a ton of money, then none of this matters. But if they can get this Fury and Usyk undisputed fight over the line, yeah, and then that turns into a kind of a long-term relationship between Turki Al-Sheikh and Frank Warren, then they really start making big fights in Saudi Arabia. I don't know, you know. I don't know. What do you guys think? Any comments before we go? It just ain't looking good. By the way, I want to do a show on Boxer because they are the worst promoters in the game by far. And you know what? I've been meaning to lay into these idiots for some time and I haven't done it. So I was actually meant to do that last week, but life happened. But I do want to get back onto Boxer because they are the worst. Let me make one thing clear. As bad as Eddie Hearn is, Ben Shalom is the absolute pits. Let me make that clear. As bad as Eddie Hearn is in terms of being a promoter, Ben Shalom ain't even in the same ballpark. I don't know what is going on at Sky now with Ben Shalom. He's a clown. And the amount of people that come to me and tell me that Ben Shalom's a clown, you'd be surprised, you know. You'd be surprised. You'd be surprised what we hear on the Ultratech grapevine, you know. Ben Shalom is an absolute joke and Boxer is an absolute joke. And Sky need to think about getting rid of that shit. What are they doing? Forget all this. Oh, we invested in Boxer and all this. Fuck all that. Yeah, listen, haven't you learned by now? Anything that involves Adam Smith turns to shit. Have these idiots not clocked onto that? Anything that involves Adam Smith turns to shit. I mean, what the fuck are they playing at? Get rid of Boxer, get rid of Ben Shalom. And you talk about telling Porky Pies, promoters that tell Porky Pies. Jesus Christ almighty. This guy tells Porky Pies, in my opinion, like you couldn't believe. That's the problem with Shalom. I think a lot of fighters have got the hump with him because he tells them so many things that just don't add up. AKA, he told Fabio Wardley that we offered you a career highest purse for a fight with Fraser Clark. I don't believe that was true. Do you believe that was true? I don't think Ben Shalom was 100% telling the truth there. You know, I know firsthand that fighters have been
told things by people. And they've been told that certain things are going to happen and then certain things don't happen. Can't really say too much more than that. But yeah, you do hear things about what goes on down there. And people get told things are going to happen and they don't happen. Not a lot of confidence there that going on down there. Where's Ben Whittaker? Anybody seen Ben Whittaker? The next big star of British boxing. Get out, mate. Anybody seen Ben Whittaker? There's something going on at Boxer. I don't think they've got a lot of money. And I don't think that they can afford big fights. I don't think they can afford big money on opponents. I think they get all their money, or whatever money they have, they're blowing it on signing the Bratsies, and they're fucking signing Ben Whittakers, and they're fucking signing Fraser Clarks, and they're signing all these guys. But I don't think they've got any money left over to get any decent opponents, because anytime their guys need to have decent fights, they ended up fighting on fucking other people's cards. Martin Bakole, for some reason, is fighting on Tyson Fury's undercard. So if you're a big lover of Martin Bakole and Billy Nelson, you'd be fighting Carlos Takam on the Fury versus Ngannou undercard. Well, I thought he was with Boxer. Thought he signed with Boxer. He signed with Boxer. He got fuck all fights, did he not? Or am I lying or not? Martin Bakole. Signed for, but he's ranked number 10 in the world by Ring Magazine at the minute for some reason. Signed by Boxer, he's had fuck all fights. Joseph Parker is fighting on the Tyson Fury versus Ngannou undercard. But I thought he's supposed to be on fucking Sky. Joseph Parker. He signed for Sky and I had one fucking fight on there and all. I mean, it is what it is, isn't it? It is what it is, you know? It is what it is. It ain't looking good, is it? It's not looking good, bruv, as Castillo would say. It's not looking good. Crazy D3 said Fury signing with Frank when he came back well, it changed the game, 100%. Frank Warren signing Tyson Fury probably saved his business. Oh, that's the truth. Frank Warren going all in on Tyson Fury was the difference between, well, Queensbury would always be around because it's Queensbury, but that's 100% difference maker. No matter what anybody says, that was it. Like Frank going in on Fury, it changed everything in boxing. When we look back at history, right, we'll see if Fury becomes undisputed. I think Usyk might beat him, but if Fury was to become undisputed and stuff like that, yeah, you don't understand. You're gonna look back at that decision, yeah, by Frank Warren to sign Tyson Fury. That has ended up having so many knock-on effects in boxing. It's completely changed the power dynamic of boxing in this country and possibly in around Europe as well. Just that one signing completely changed the entire dynamic of boxing completely. And like I said before, I've said it a million times and people don't want to hear it. But if I'm Anthony Joshua and I'm looking at the situation I'm in right now, big question marks have to be asked about Anthony Joshua. Because I've said it before and I'll leave you with this. Again, I say it all the time. Anthony Joshua had the heavyweight division in the palm of his hand. Undefeated. Yeah, one of the biggest stars in boxing, one of the biggest stars in the history of British boxing, undefeated and had the heavyweight division in the palm of his hand. He was one fight away from becoming the undisputed heavyweight champion, right? And in the space of from that point to fucking 18 months later, I shit you not, in 18 months, Anthony Joshua went from undefeated, one of the biggest sports stars in Britain, one of the biggest sports stars in the world, one fight away from becoming undisputed champion in 18 fucking months, yeah? A 400-pound Tyson Fury somehow comes in from a failed drugs test and comes in, yeah, from fucking suicidal thoughts and somehow manages to jump in the queue in front of him. Mate, I'm being honest with you. How that was allowed to happen, I keep saying it, I'll say it again. That's going to go down as one of the biggest mysteries in the last 30 years. I promise you. When it's all said and done, especially if Fury becomes undisputed, people will look back at that moment and think, that's where it went wrong. That guy had everything in the palm of his hand. And somewhere down the line, he was advised very, very badly, wasn't he? He was advised very, very badly by somebody, wasn't he? And unfortunately, he got in the ring with Andy Ruiz on short notice. And after that, that was it. Can you believe that? That little shade of events, him getting in the ring with Andy Ruiz when he probably shouldn't have gotten in the ring with Andy Ruiz, and Tyson Fury getting in the ring with Deontay Wilder when he probably shouldn't have gotten in the ring with Deontay Wilder. And that ended up turning boxing on its head. And after that one fight in the USA, Anthony Joshua got blasted up by Andy Ruiz, and Tyson Fury got robbed against Deontay Wilder. Tyson Fury becomes an overnight star in the sport of boxing, and Anthony Joshua star begins to fall, and they do a complete fucking 180. And now Tyson Fury is on the verge of being the absolute star in boxing. I mean, we're talking about a guy, Fury, who we'll see what happens if he fights Ngannou. But if he fights Ngannou and wins and gets to the Usyk fight, they're saying that he's going to be collecting $200 million plus. That's what people need to understand. Like, Fury has gone in the space of a couple of years, yeah, from being on a couch failing a drugs test to making Floyd Mayweather money, whether you like it or not. I'm not saying he's the greatest of all time. He don't duck anybody, whatever you want to say about Fury. But people need to understand how big of a turnaround it's been. Because in a space of 5 years, he's gone from being 400 pounds on the couch, to being in basically making Floyd. This guy is making Floyd Mayweather type of money now. We're talking hundreds of millions of pounds, and he's one fight away again from being involved in an undisputed fight. And that really, and I've said it from day one, that should have been Anthony Joshua. Am I right or wrong? That should have been Anthony Joshua, man. Anthony Joshua must be sitting at home thinking, how the fuck was that not me? How the fuck was that not me, man? He was on the last lap, Anthony Joshua. He was in the Anthony Joshua Grand Prix, and he was on the fucking celebration lap, and he was 20 seconds, ahead of his next nearest competitor. And somehow, some way, someone's advised him to turn the engine down, and he's gone and turned down the wrong switch, and he's gone to put it in the fucking wall, isn't he? It's a massive, massive turnaround, And unfortunately, that turnaround in Anthony Joshua's fortunes has also coincided with a massive turnaround in Matchroom's fortunes, isn't it? Do you not think? I think they're all linked. Before I go, do you think I'm speaking absolutely crazy? Do you think they're all linked? I think they're all linked. Anthony Joshua's downfall, I think, has coincided with the downfall with Matchroom. Absolutely. And, their relationship with the Zone as well. And, the desire to, take Anthony Joshua and, take him over to the Zone and guarantee him all this money. And I think it's all been a fucking disaster. But listen, maybe I'll be proved wrong, but it's looking like, that was the day that boxing in this country got turned on its head, I would say. Fury going to fight Deontay Wilder in the USA, and that was the just before Andrew is getting sparking out Anthony Joshua. Turned everything on its head. We'll see. I will say I'm going to do a more concise show on this soon. And we'll talk about Boxer. Boxer are a fucking disgrace. But be interested to talk about where you think things are in the UK. I'll be honest with you, like I said before, when I start feeling sorry for Eddie Hearn, it's bad. And we're getting to the point with Eddie Hearn where I do start to feel sorry for him. And I will say this, and I'll go. I think if it continues like this, I think he'll call it a day in boxing. That's my opinion. I think if things don't begin to get better for Eddie Hearn, I think he'll call it a day. I think he'll bow out. Because I will say one thing about Eddie Hearn, he's not the type of guy that's going to do what Frank does. So, I believe, and I could be wrong about this, right? And we'll leave it at this. Press 7 if you agree with me on this, and press 8 if you disagree. So I believe, and I've always believed, that Eddie Hearn is what we call an on-top fighter. So I believe when he's on top and things are going well, he shows up every day front and center. But I honestly believe he's a bit like Anthony Joshua. I believe that when it gets tough for him, when it starts getting really tough for him, I don't think he's gonna be able to. I don't think he has it in him to grind it out. Does that make sense? What I'm saying? I don't think he has it in him to grind it out. I think when the going gets tough, he's going to pick up his ball, and I think he'll go home. That's my honest opinion of Eddie Hearn. So I think that if you want to see him in a sport of boxing, I do think that his fortunes are going to have to change quite significantly in the next couple of years. Because if they don't, so if Tyson Fury becomes undisputed, that'd be bad for him. All right. If Tyson Fury becomes undisputed, it's really bad because, to be honest with you, where does that leave Anthony Joshua? Anthony Joshua don't need Tyson Fury. Tyson Fury don't need Anthony Joshua no more because what does he need Anthony Joshua for? Become undisputed. They're not fighting for no fucking titles unless Anthony Joshua gets the IBF and then they fight for undisputed all over again. They could do that, but if Tyson Fury beats Usyk and becomes undisputed, for me it becomes a real problem for them. To be honest with you, because it becomes a real problem for them. To be honest with you. It becomes a problem for Anthony Joshua because he has to go with a begging bowl in his hand to Tyson Fury, to be honest with you. I don't know how you guys feel about that. Tyson Fury becomes undisputed. Do you think Anthony Joshua is going to be getting 40%? I don't think he is. But I could be wrong on that. But I'm just going to tell you now. If Fury beats Usyk, which I don't think he will, but if he was to beat Usyk and become undisputed, right? Do you think Anthony Joshua could get a 40% with Tyson Fury? I don't think so. I don't think he can get 40%. I think he has to go with his begging bowl in his hand at that point, to be honest with you. I think, that's it for him. Has to go with his begging bowl in his hand. So there's that. There's all sorts, I don't know. We'll see. Tom Smith says, us old boys remember Barry Hearn cutting and running from boxing. The son will follow suit. Honestly, I really do hope that
if things get tough already, I hope he sticks it out. Because I've always wanted to see Eddie Hearn on the back foot. Do you know what I mean? I've always wanted to see, like, what happens to this guy when he hasn't got big Sky backing, when he hasn't got big Saudi backing. Because he's a guy who's, and it's nothing wrong with that, but Eddie Hearn's always a guy in it. He's always been backed by the biggest, isn't he? Does that not make sense? Like, so he was backed by Sky, and he was backed by Sky when Sky were like the dominant force in it. Like, there was no BT Sport when Eddie Hearn was running with Sky. I mean, there was no BT Sport. Like, Sky had all the sports. There was no competitor for Sky Sports. There was no BT Sports. They didn't have to share any Premier League football rights. They were the dominant force, right? So there's no other channel in town. There was no other sports channel in town when he was there, right? And then DAZN came along, and DAZN didn't have the same influence as Sky, but he had a billionaire backing him, didn't he? He had a billionaire. So he's always sort of gone to the biggest backer, isn't he? But it'd be interesting. I've always wanted to see, like, what's going to happen to him when he's on the back foot, innit? When he's on the back foot. I don't know. I've got a bad feeling about it, you know? It's a bit like when Anthony Joshua got on the back foot, innit? And people talk about the old AJ, innit? What about the old AJ? And as soon as people started punching him back, he wasn't the old AJ no more, innit? It's funny, you remember that, innit? Anthony Joshua used to be a completely different human being before people actually started punching him back. Am I right about that? Am I wrong about that, innit? Ever since people started punching Anthony Joshua back in the face, he was never the same fighter again, was he? It's funny, innit? There's some fighters, I'm not going to name names, but you know who there are. There's some heavyweight fighters out there that they just have grit, don't they? They have heart, but they have a grit, don't they? Like, if they get knocked down, they're capable of getting up in it and continuing the fight and continuing to be dangerous, and they don't drop their head. And I think there's some promoters that are like that as well, aren't there? There's some promoters out there that when things get tough, when things aren't going their way, they know how to stay in it, stay with it, and grind it out, don't they? And there's some people who just, they have to be number one, don't they? What do you guys think? There's just some people out there, they have to be number one. All the cards have to be in their deck. And if the cards aren't in their favor, they don't want to play no more. They check out. I hope he sticks around. I hope Eddie Hearn sticks around in boxing for the next 10 years. But if things continue at the pace they're going to continue at, yeah, I ain't sure they are, you know. Things have got to change, innit? Things have got to change. They've got to start finding a way to bring... And let me quickly say one last thing, by the way. People criticize these York Hall cards. These York Hall cards are brilliant because most stars, if not all stars, have to start somewhere. That's why you need these small hall cards. And you know what? Let me say this. It's so funny, yeah? When I go on IFL TV comment section, I don't really watch the videos, but I go on the comments for the laugh. Hey, Expert Genius. I hope you're well. Come on for KSI next week versus Tommy Fury, Expert Genius, for the lols. The small hall shows. Let me quickly say this before I go. The small hall shows in boxing are really important because a lot of people have been conditioned by Matchroom to think that if you put on small hall shows, then you're trash, and that every fucking show should be some fucking pay-per-view extravaganza with lights. That's not where stars come from. If you go and look at Deontay Wilder started fighting in hotels in front of 10 people. Am I lying or am I not lying? Yes or no? Am I telling the truth? Did Deontay Wilder not start his career as a complete unknown fighting in he was fighting in dinner shows, man. Deontay Wilder was fighting on dinner shows in front of 2 men and a fucking dog. Today, he fights for no more than 7 figures. You can't get Deontay Wilder to come out of bed for more than 10 million these days. But when he was starting in, you started in dinner shows. Tyson Fury started. Everybody has to start somewhere. Everybody. And that's where you find the gems. That's when you bring through the next generation. That's where it comes from. So you need a small hall game. You need a small hall game, man. And all these dudes coming out here saying, oh, no, Matchroom don't do no small hall shows or everywhere. That's the problem. Because you can't keep relying, on signing Olympians. And you can't keep relying on, well, every time Queensbury finds someone, we'll nick them. Or every time Mick Hennessy finds somebody, well, we'll nick them because we're Matchroom. You can't keep relying on that. That's not a viable business model. It's not, is it? And you can see that's what was happened in the past, right? Because when they beat Del Stebra in the past, Matchroom, when Matchroom had their little golden era, all that golden era, that was all based on a stable of fighters that started with Frank Warren. Am I being biased by saying that, or am I spitting facts? Let me know. The golden era of Matchroom, other than Carl Froch, who was a Mick Hennessy fighter, right? The golden era of Matchroom, the Bellews, the Khans, the Brooks, these are all Frank Warren fighters, man. These are all Frank Warren fighters. These are all Frank Warren fighters. Froch was taken from Mick Hennessy. Look at this. Anthony Crolla,
The best lightweight in the world. Remember all that? Remember all them big sellouts, them big Anthony Corner sellout nights in Manchester. Anthony Corner is the best lightweight in the world. Frank Warren fighter. Ricky Burns. Frank Warren literally stole Ricky Burns, and that went to court. Remember? Ricky Burns, Anthony Qualla, Tony Bellew, Kell Brook, Amir Khan. You just need a bunch of guys. Just need a bunch of guys of Frank Warren. Nick a bunch of guys of Frank Warren. Because you're on Sky. But now you haven't got that. You need your small hall game. You need to have people in the small halls finding people. Let me say this. I know for a fact, yeah, there was a guy who was fighting on York Hall last night called Masood Abdullah. And he fought near the top of the bill on York Hall last night. That he's going to get close to fighting for a British title soon. He was brought through from scratch by my mate Alfie Warren. Alfie Warren brought that man through from scratch. That was Alfie and Bobby Warren, WBM, Warren Boxing Management. They brought him through from scratch. They brought him through from nothing, from nowhere. He was a good amateur boxer. And he's fighting in York Halls now. But you know what? He'll be fighting for British titles on TNT Sports soon. And then he'll start undercarding to big fights soon. And then who knows what will happen. But he was brought through from the ground up because you dealing with guys who ain't just in it for the glitz and the glamour. You're dealing with guys who've got a lot of experience in boxing. And you're dealing with guys who keep their ears close to the ground. And it all starts in a small hall. So just beware of that. That's all I'm saying. Like, see a lot of people online, like, particularly in the IFL TV comments, going, "Oh, I heard someone's running a small hall show tonight. It does crap." Then they assume that all small hall show boxing is rubbish. But you have to remember, these guys all started somewhere. All of the stars that you see today, with the exception of one or two, but pretty much all of the big stars you see today, that's where they all started. That's where they all started, man. That's where they all started. So we'll have to wait and see, man. It'd be good for Matchroom to get a few small halls going and find the talent. Because what is their game at the minute? Signing Olympians. And Tony is absolutely bang on in what he said, by the way. Their matchmaking, I don't know how they do things, but their matchmaking shocking. And everybody knows they've needed a matchmaker for a long time, but it is what it is. I think Eddie Hearn thinks he knows best, but everybody knows they've needed a matchmaker for ages. Am I lying or not lying? People, and I'm talking about professionals in boxing, they've been saying for quite a while, Matchroom do need a matchmaker. They do need a matchmaker. They do need someone with a bit of experience in boxing who knows how to match these guys up. Should we put Asia in the ring with Andrew Ruiz? Probably not. Should we be putting Kell Brook in the ring with 160-pound Gennady Golovkin? Probably not. Should we be putting Jordan Thompson in the ring with fucking Jai Opatia? Probably not. They need a matchmaker. They've needed a matchmaker for years. But this is what happens when your company is run by narcissism. When you've got narcissists who think they know everything and they don't need any help, this is what happens in boxing. This is what happens in any line of business. In any line of business. So we'll wait and see. But things ain't looking good. Exactly. Yeah, Fury fought small with Mick Hennessy. James DeGale fought in Blue Water Shopping Centre and then ended up signing with Al Heyman and ended up, fighting around the world in numerous world title fights, and including a fucking unification fight. And James DeGale was making £1 million a fight with Al Heyman. But James DeGale, in the early part of his career, was boxing for £2.50 on Mick Hennessy cards in Blue Water Shopping Centre. Everybody got to start somewhere. Right, let's leave it at that. Not a great show today, but like I said before, let's see if we still have a channel on Monday. I need to start getting regular again. Yeah. So let's talk about Monday. I want to talk about on Monday. Let's have a chat about Dillian White. So I want to have a chat about Dillian White. I want to have a chat about where is Dillian, and I want to have a little chat about Dillian's career and how Dillian got to this point. Because I think if you're Dillian White sitting at home right now, fucking hell. You must be going through some times with Dillian White, right? I think Dillian White's finally beginning to work out what we've been telling him all along, innit? About who you can trust in this game and who you can't trust. Until then, take care of yourselves and each other.